Fire. Curling, safe trip home.
Tastes like Sunday. This game is well timed, so go have fun.
There we go. Welcome to the Philadelphia Curling Club. We are here on Sunday, January 12th, and we've got the second event finals of the GNCC Women's Championship on Sheet 1 and the fourth event finals on Sheet 2. Thanks for joining us this beautiful Sunday in Philadelphia. Got Carolyn Lloyd and Katie Krebs on the announcement.
Good morning.
And we're off.
Yep. So we got a couple of local teams on each sheet and a couple of away teams on each sheet, which is a nice mix.
Should make for some good curling. For those of you just joining us on Sheet 1, we have Team Conrad from Charlotte playing the Red Rocks and Team McElroy from Philadelphia playing the Yellow Rocks. And on Sheet 2, we have Team Martin from Plainfield and Charlotte on the red and Team Neal from Philadelphia on the yellow.
Mine's great. I just go ahead. I don't think you can hurt it.
I think that one of the things that's been an interesting thing about this Bonspiel so far is that we did a fresh flood on this ice a couple of weeks ago, and so we're breaking it in still, and we've been working with our nipper to take different amounts of cut off the nip, which causes it to curl more or less depending on how much. And so it's been interesting because almost every game you've got to learn something new. So these first couple of ends, you know, we're probably about picking up on that and learning the speed of the ice and seeing what it can do.
Makes it challenging, but it doesn't really give any team home field advantage here.
Yeah, totally. That's one of the benefits of having that flood so close to the Bonspiel is that nobody's really settled in. Oh, that was a squeaker. Just by the guard. Really beautiful shot to the butt from Team McElroy there.
Let's just follow it. Yeah. Yep. Okay, well.
And over on Sheet 2, we have a really nice draw into the house also from Team Neal.
Yep. Good draw weight early is always a plus.
Looks like it needs it. 4 on the rocks.
Just talk. All right, so we got some feedback that we need to talk louder. So we're going to try and do that without screaming at you.
I will say we are thrilled that you guys are all here this morning, so we're not
Totally.
just talking to ourselves.
I plan to be talking to myself. I'm not
Same.
going to lie. Yeah.
We do it often.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. It's just a normal weekend for me is talking to myself.
I think sometimes we heard that we have 10 people on the feed. Guys, we are stoked
So
that we have
just,
10 people listening to us.
I don't know what kind of YouTube awards there are out there, but surely this qualifies for something.
Some sports commentary award.
You bet. ESPYs, here we come.
There you go. Nice shot over on sheet 1 by Team McElroy there.
It's nice weight on this ice too. With it as it is, it's hard to hold really high weight hits exactly where you need them. So that little touch shot to top it back was nice.
It's interesting because you can also really hear what they're saying on the ice.
Yeah.
It's quite good microphones we've got out there. So it can be a little distracting sometimes to hear what they're saying on the ice and also trying to figure out what we're saying to each other. So
all I know is that when I'm out there and I know the mic is on, I have to be careful because I might not be the most careful person naturally.
same. We had one of those this morning over on sheet 2.
So this is a good example down sheet 1 of how much curl you get even with hit weight on this ice. It's moving.
Oh, barely missed that back rock.
Didn't even know you could go through that port. Do it again. I dare
Couldn't
you.
call that if you tried.
Nope.
A nice peel on the top guard over by Team Martin on sheet 2.
It's always interesting to see the race to control the forefoot and how it happens. One of the things I think is the most interesting about curling is how that race happens differently every time.
And you can have the best laid plans and then change your plans, see who gets there first.
Oh, no, totally. All the best strategy in the world only matters if you match it with execution.
That's right.
So I think they were probably trying to take out the red rock there and then get the curl they wanted on sheet 2. But they're shot for the moment. And we're looking at a pretty nice little hit and roll in by Leslie
Beautiful
Dutt.
shot.
Really nice on sheet 1.
On sheet 1.
Right behind that center guard. Lovely. That's a long guard that might be hard to see on the stream, but it's pretty effective right now.
Yep. Whoa, easy, clean. Whoa. Here it is. Follow the roll. And you roll as hard as you go.
Nice takeout over on
It's a nice roll over there, too. I mean,
Sheet 2.
it leaves the button exposed and something to draw to, but the rock is out clean and it's behind cover, so.
Yes. Ooh, it's coming over. Whoa.
This rock's, again, really moving. We even with hit weight, we almost saw that almost completely clear that guard, which is something. But they've taken away a lot of that junk in the front. See what happens next, see what Virginia decides to do. So as is the case with a lot of Bonspiel teams, I think we see a couple of skips in the back end in a lot of cases, which always provides an interesting dynamic. A lot of opinions about the right thing to do. And people talk in the warm room all the time. This is the first time I've ever called a game on a stream, but you sit and talk in the warm room about these games all the time. And behind the glass, people are just so certain of what the call is. But there's no one way to play. That's what makes the game interesting, is that there's lots of different choices to make. I think they wanted this one a little bit deeper for Team McElroy, but it's a good guard.
Over on sheet 2, we've got just had a nice draw by Team Neal, followed by another one by Team Martin.
Oof.
Lots of things in the forefoot over there.
That's closer than I thought it was going to be. They drug that one in, that red rock.
Good sweeping.
I think yellow's still shot, but boy, that was a close one.
Yeah.
So I think we're still trying to remove junk over here on sheet 1, and this looks like it's promising. All right.
Look at that, getting them both.
The only problem with that is that you leave that shooter there, but at least it's their color now, so if they want to try a 15-foot run back, it's
That
right there.
would be a long run back.
It sure would. It sure would. I wouldn't be itching to try it, that's for sure. Another nice
draw.
Oh, that little kick with
Beautiful.
That little wick off that top red both assured that yellow is counting in the back and
Looks like they're sitting 2.
looks like it easy.
That house is wide open, so we'll see what Team Martin chooses to do.
Yeah, red has hammer over there, so it's, you know, they're going to have to move those yellows if they want something out of this end, that's for sure. And here comes the effort from Char.
You hear her yelling for the sweep there.
Trying to get the curl. I think they're doing a pretty good job of that. They'll make contact. That's good separation, and even though they lose those red ones in the back, now they can make something out of those back 2 yellows.
And it's enough to sit them second shot there.
That's
so.
totally. A lot of good things. A lot of good things.
Got our first skip rock from Virginia on sheet 1.
He's trying to guard this up, I think. It's coming in nice.
Yep, nice guard.
Really good line. It's going to be tough to get at those yellows now. There's a draw the other way, but I don't think anybody wants a T-line cold draw in the first end of a game. They're talking about the long run. The short run is certainly more achievable, but you hate to run in your opponent's rock.
Yeah, could be risky. Looks like they might just be trying to clear that, though. And,
I will say, though, she has a lot of power in her delivery, and if someone's going to get all these rocks going, she can do it.
Get some movement in there and see what they can do.
She has that skill for sure. And for those of you who don't know, Kristen Conrad, who's throwing skip rocks on sheet 1 right now, is also the president of the GNCC. So this is the GNCC Women's Championship. She is the head of that organization. So it's exciting to see her out here in a final. Good person, good leader, good curler. Let's see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Hits them
That's
all.
an excellent shot. 2 of them gone. 2 of
Great
them gone.
shot.
The 1 is available now. That's a spectacular skip shot from Kristen. And it looks like Lori's sitting pretty good over here on sheet 2. Sitting 1-2 in the forefoot.
Red with hammer, though, so we'll see what
Looks
Team
like
Martin chooses to do here.
I believe a nose double would give them a count of 2.
Or, yeah.
So that'll be the effort.
Yep. We'll see. Here she comes down the ice now.
This isn't hammer, though, so we still got a couple of rocks to play out over there.
It's hard to see from back here.
It totally is. I'm going to be doing a lot of standing up and sitting down to see how many rocks we still have in play.
This is Virginia's last shot, though.
Virginia is so good at throwing draw weight, so she's usually somebody who zeroes in on that weight call and has it consistently throughout the game. If she's going to have a shot that's a draw, she's an excellent draw shot maker. She's just very, very good at getting the weight. It's a little light here, but it's a good guard for their one in the house.
And red with hammer on sheet 1.
Yeah, so in that case, lighter's better. You know, like coming deep gives the double for Charlotte. Now they have to make a tougher shot.
Like you said, the draw is still open.
All right, let's see over here. There's the attempt for the double. Oh. So they just got the top one, so it'll be a steal of 1 for Team Neal and then the first end. Or wait, no.
They still have a skip rock apiece.
Apologies, I jumped ahead of myself. See, that's when I need to stand up more. If I'm not going to be out on the ice.
Teamwork makes the dream
That's
work, right?
If I'm not going to be out there doing slides all day, I got to be up here standing up and sitting down. Yeah.
These chairs don't make it easy to get up and sit down, though.
We need those lifeguard chairs like they have at the shore.
You can like sit up a little bit, yeah.
Sure.
And
all right,
last
so,
rock on sheet 1 here.
And again, this is the kind of power that you can see from Kristen all week. She's got such a good up-weight throw. The question will be, just a little
just
wide.
Missed it.
They just needed it to come up a touch. So
good effort, though, by Team Conrad.
And a good end and a steal for McElroy.
Over on sheet 2, we have Lori Neal's last rock. Yellow currently sitting 1.
Trying to put another one in there. It looks like this one's curling up. Sometimes when they keep going like that, they lose a little bit of their momentum. Yeah, all that weight just coming off in the curl. So I guess red's got a shot now. If they can nose that, I think they sit 3. If they just get it out of there, they just need to move it to the back 12. And they can sit 3 here. So an opportunity. Look at that. It's a lovely guard coming to rest. There we go, right outside in front. I think it's in front on sheet 1.
It looks like it's just above the house there.
Sometimes the camera angle can be deceiving. But that's a lovely, on center line and everything.
If you're just joining us for the GNCC Women's Championships, welcome. We're here in beautiful Philadelphia. We've got the second event finals and the fourth event finals happening now.
This rock's coming in nice. Look at it go.
Beautiful line on that rock.
Really nice. I mean, it's a little hot, but like you couldn't have thrown a better line than that. That's lovely.
Yeah, it's perfectly buried behind that guard. And
all right, here comes Deb. So the problem on this line where she's throwing is that if you get out on it, it just runs that line all day.
That looks like what is happening there.
She's going to try and catch a piece of it. It's just real hard to throw out there. So that's a steal of 1 for Neal on sheet.
Just missing by centimeters there.
And that's an easy miss, right? I think a lot of teams have struggled with that particular line this weekend.
Yeah.
I certainly know my team did.
We definitely did too. We ran into issues on that line this morning. So.
Yeah. It's one of those where you either have to tighten up the ice or you have to take the weight off, or both. You know, like it's. I think even with backline hack weight, it runs pretty straight down that path.
Yeah.
So now we get to see what these outside lines do. Team Conrad trying to hit outside. Maybe get a roll into the center here. That's a good sweep from Laura. Going to get a hefty roll out of it, not stick around much. Maybe.
Yeah, looks like it sticks around.
All right. Thank you, Low Action on Club Rocks. So for those of you who are more in tune to the finer points of the game, the new the tick rule, the no-tick rule, that's been adopted by the World Curling Federation and subsequently by USA Curling and is now filtering down to clubs. We're not using that to play today. But the idea is that if you have a rock that you place in the guard zone on the center line, touching the center line in those first 5 rocks, that you can't even tick it off the center line. It's an interesting rule for professional level players. It kind of keeps the game more interesting. for kind of the big professional TV people who throw perfect rocks all the time. For club curlers, it's kind of an annoyance that gets in the way, but I guess we're going to be adopting it, so I need to change my mind on that one. But we didn't use it in this Bonspiel because it, for our level of curling, the problem that they're trying to solve at the world level is a problem that we don't have. So we're not using that rule as much for time as anything else. In a Bonspiel with 2 sheets of ice, you kind of need things to be at a premium, and measuring a lot of rocks on center line slows it down for sure.
Nice tick over on sheet 2. Opens up that house.
Pretty good draw on sheet 1. It's got backing there. Don't always have to take a rock out to be effective.
Rocks are moving.
They sure are. A good sweep call. Good notice of the heavy throw on sheet 2. So through the house, but really moving. Moving on both sheets, which is good news. You like to see curly ice.
Nice shot right in the top of the house there.
Not sure who shot there on sheet 1. I think it's red in the back, but it's close. Doesn't matter right now, but
lots of rocks left to play.
Yeah, lots.
Wide open house on sheet 2.
I think that's the hardest thing about throwing lead rocks. It's throwing to wide open space. Everybody else has a plan B. A lead never has a plan B. All right, so I think, oh man.
Speaking of plan B.
Well, you know what? They cleared one off the top. I know they knocked that yellow one in, but they simplified things for themselves with that, so that was not bad.
But again, still lots of rocks left, so they don't
for
need
sure.
to be too worried about that.
So Conrad has hammer. Her job right here is simplicity. Leave yourself a shot. And so Virginia's job is the opposite. Junk it up, make it difficult, give her the challenging shot. Another trait of our ice right now is that the first end tends to be noticeably slower, and then you get to the second end and all of a sudden everything's a rocket. So you have to be able to adjust to that change in ice speed. All right, so Leslie does a little tap back there. The nice thing is that they've tapped at least onto a corner for backing. The angles are not great for McElroy, though. They're set up here to send yellows flying. So let's see if the Charlotte team gets that going.
Speaking of speed, we can see over on sheet 2 that these rocks are flying.
Yeah, it really doesn't take much.
No.
And I think that's a difficult adjustment. You know, we saw this yesterday too. All right, so they just picked off the top on sheet 1, which is, again, perfectly fine because it's about leaving yourself that room to get in there to score.
Has some nice curl on it coming in on sheet 1.
It's so funny because even watching them, you know, like there's no way this rock is as deep if it's played in sheet 1. But now that it's sped up, it just continues that slide on in. It's a nice shot placement. So they're sitting 1-2. And because they're as far away as they can be in the 4-foot and still be counting, it just makes that double a little bit more challenging. I still think if they nose that top yellow, I think they get them both, with no danger of losing their red in the back because it's got a yellow to jam on back there. So Deb's given good leadership and advice to her team, because throw the rock to the sweepers. When it's running fast, just throw it a little light and let them get it there. This one's closer. Let's see what happens. Oh! Just a lick of sweeping, and that would have gotten both of those yellows. So close. It's a hard one to call because the difference between perfect and imperfect is so small. but it does make it better.
Definitely opens some things up there. And
Well, and they got
leaves
all
them
these
some
biters.
options.
Like,
yeah.
look around the edge of the sheet there. If they can make something happen with this could be big for them.
And biters can be dangerous, and those could come into play here.
Absolutely, especially if Virginia can't get another one set in here in a good spot. Because the challenge is, where do you put it to count second shot but not leave a double? Because you know Kristen can throw it, and you know they're going to take it on. So where do you leave your rock to make that the most challenging shot that it can be? Oh, they're saying
calling for a corner freeze on the red.
which is great. So what you're doing there is trying to take that double away. It doesn't make you second shot, but it makes that takeout
a lot more challenging.
a lot more challenging. It might leave you with a straight draw, but it's a much harder shot to do that corner freeze. So this is a subtle one, but it's a good call. Still on sheet 2, teams trying to adjust to that faster speed. Oh, golly, it comes off center line hard. Still didn't quite make it, but
All right, so Virginia's first skip rock here. Looking for a corner freeze on that top red.
oh, Lord. So now we get the sweeping shuffle. If you're ever playing on a team with Leslie Dutt, you know what that's about. They're awful close here. They're not going to get to the corner of that red, but that's very
a good effort.
Yeah, really good effort.
Good sweeping by the sweepers.
Yep. And the nice thing about that is that it's out counting all those annoying little nibblers on the edge, you know. So now the other team has to deal with both of those yellow rocks to really bring that into play. And there is a double there, but it's a double that has
gonna be
a
a
lot of
tough
danger.
double, yeah.
It's very, very risky.
Hit it just slightly off, and you could.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could even keep the shooter, but they're not trying, and I think for good reason. It's a long one, and you could just as easily take your own away.
Yeah.
I think this might be the tap that they've called. Just tap that red one back into the 4-foot.
It's probably smart. The double, gives you some temptation there, but
Oh, gosh.
I got to put some points
if
on
you
the
had to
board.
throw it, right, if you were down by a bunch, you'd take that on.
It's still so early in the game, though, that
A lot of rocks to throw. Yeah, so they're playing it with this tick weight, but I think they're going to curl all the way over to the yellow. I was going to say it might help them because it takes some of that weight off. It's a little hot for the tick. I don't know what weight they called, but they still have it up there. They've still got one to work with, so now Virginia can try and dunk another one in there.
trying to come the other way on sheet 2. And does get that red one in the back.
Except it's
spilling
jammed.
out.
Jammed.
So red still with an annoying biter in the back for Team Yellow, but we'll see what Team Martin puts up here.
One of my favorite calls when I listen to a professional commentator is when that happens and they say, stuffed it. So,
Stuffed it.
Yeah. So when you're trying to pick out something, but it jams, and you can say, stuffed it. So maybe I'll keep that in my back pocket for the rest of today's commentary. I would also like a chance to do the Vic route or count them up situation, so I'm kind of hoping for a big end at some point. Just so if my current life plan doesn't work out, I can try and apply to something with the CBC and see if I can get some Sportsnet stuff going on.
I think you'd be great, Carolyn.
I think I should probably stick to my day job.
Well,
really nice movement here on sheet 2 from Team Martin. Got those two right rocks nicely in the front of the house. And here comes Virginia's, which is not going to make it through the port or around, but they did manage to tap one up there. And it's a pretty good spot.
Does still leave that red, but this chair just totally, I'm sorry about that. It's not the most stable here. But options for red on sheet 1.
I think they're talking about the draw down to the back one, and with the way it curls, it's probably there. You don't even have to necessarily come all the way back down to that yellow to count, and she's got room. And I guess they've got a plan B over here too, because if it curls more than they think it's gonna, they can tap that red one straight back. So
some options here. Lori Neal with her first skip stone over on sheet 2. It looks like they're trying to come in, maybe to that back one.
Well, I mean, I don't, you know, again with the speed on these things, and they curl when they go, they're just gone.
And that one just took off
all
there.
over the guard. They're going to put another one in, I think, for red.
Yellow almost getting a biter there.
Bit of an unfortunate wick there. So now we'll see what Deb calls, try and get something cooking. All right, I think they're playing the tap over here now, given how it's curling. That might have been the call all along.
Looks like it's coming in.
At the angle, I don't think they have backing.
Nope. A little too much weight there on the hit.
Good try.
It was a great angle on that.
Yeah, so steal it too. All right, so Team McElroy off to a strong start.
Talking about options over on sheet 2.
Yeah, curling strategy is interesting because, you know, I think a lot of folks who are new to curling are kind of the mindset of how do I get more points? And that's, of course, that's sometimes what you're trying to do. But a lot of times what you're trying to do is think about, you know, how do I put myself up strategically? How do I limit the other team? It's not always about more points. Sometimes the best shots you can throw are guards. So it looks like they're going to try and draw in over here on sheet 2. I don't know if she wants one in deeper. The only thing they really need to be concerned about is to keep it in front of the tee line so that Team Neal has tougher shot.
Can we switch the house? And a nice guard over on sheet 1 to start off the end.
So we should have.
All right, so Debs is away.
Look at the curl on that.
I know. This Martin team is interesting too because these are folks who don't get to curl together a whole lot. You know, these are people who curl at different clubs and live in different states, and they come together to do these spiels. So they're doing quite well.
Little tap up there to sit another one in the house.
I don't hate it. It makes the draw path harder for Team Neal. That's in a pretty good spot.
And they're sitting 4,
yeah.
So
it's hard to complain when you're sitting 4. Yeah. With only a couple of rocks to throw. So if Lori's going to drop one in there, she has to make sure she's fully buried.
The way they're curling, I think it's definitely possible. So,
you know, it's so easy to say it, especially on this side of the glass. But all you have to do is throw the right line with the right weight, right?
No big deal.
No big deal.
Easy peasy.
Done it 1,000 times. I don't mention the 10,000 times I've done it wrong, but I've done it 1,000 times.
Like you said, it's easy to be a warm room skip, but
I'm 100% back here. Never lost a game.
And Team Conrad looking to bring one behind that guard.
I think they're okay
or
with
leave it a little high.
I think they're okay with high as well, right? You know, if you're going to try and come back,
get something in.
Yep,
yeah,
give yourself some cover. Use those good guard rocks. It's always scary because you don't want the other team to use them, but the fact of the matter is you got to have guards if you want to score points.
It's hard to put an end together without
yeah.
some good guards
You
up
bet.
front.
Wait on your line, make it tighter.
And it looks like Lori's going to go for the tap on her yellow up there.
I mean, it's a good option.
Yeah, it's close to the house.
And because those 3 red rocks at the top are so high and the one in the back is so far back, there's a lot of the rings. The scoring area is still pretty big on sheet 2. So there's a lot of
room to work with here.
A whole lot.
And if she can get that buried, it will be very difficult to get that out.
Yeah. She's been curling well this season, though. She can do it.
Nancy calling for the sweep there.
must be close. They're on it.
Looks
Looks a little hot, but oh.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Look at that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Pretty
ring the
freaking
bell for that one.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful
a lovely
shot.
So now they're leaving Deb with a tough choice. So she's got a tiny port to come through, or she's got a run back that's a little scary. Either one of them's scary. What a shot!
Not
from
an
Lori
easy
Neal.
shot here.
Not a girl.
That was not an easy shot. Perfectly executed.
Yeah, again, helped by the fact that that scoring area is so large. You
Yep.
you didn't have to baby it in there. She could give it a good whack, and it ends up in a good spot. All right, so we got McElroy again trying to use these corner guards to their advantage. Trying to get one and basically race to the protection. It's a little hot, but the line's real nice.
It's nicely buried back there.
It is indeed. So Conrad's just going to try and come right down to it, have some nice backing, get in there.
All right, and we've got.
Oh, it's Deb's taking on the port. This is exciting. So she's going to try and skinny through that port. See if she can.
It's there.
I wonder
We'll
what kind of weight
see,
she called for this shot. I would guess something like control maybe, but I don't know. Maybe it's less. They do need it to curl a little bit through that gap. It's Conrad's team just a little heavy on sheet one. Good line, just a little bit hot. All right.
Yep, calling for the
hard.
sweep. It's got to curl a bit though.
It's got to curl a ton. Whoa. They're holding it.
Here it comes.
It's close.
Oh, just ticked off that top.
Just a little bit too much. That is tough. All right, well.
Lori Neal with a great shot on sheet
Yep,
2 to steal one.
The saver right there. That was a nice shot. All right, Team McElroy is back to trying to protect this line. But it looks like both teams are having a little bit of a struggle kind of getting the weight perfectly down here. Oh, Leslie's is coming in nice. It looked like it had more on it.
Yeah, definitely slowed down a little bit there.
Yeah.
Nicely at the top of the house, though.
Yep. It's in a good spot.
Definitely takes away some of that playing area there.
And it forces Conrad to do something about it, right? That's the real thing, is that she can't leave it there if she wants to score multiples, so she's really got to go after it. That's another shot where I think that people think it's easy because it's just a hit, right? Peeling a rock away. But to be able to truly peel a rock so that you lose both the rock that you're trying to move and the shooter, it's harder than you think. And it's not a shot that a lot of club players, they're doing a good job here. They're going to cross the face and get it that way.
Yeah, nice shot there.
Yeah, nicely done. But they're hard shots to throw.
You do manage to lose a shooter there, which is exactly what she was trying to do.
Yep. McElroy's just going to put it back. I mean, I think you hope a little bit that the other team's going to not be as perfect as they were the last time and give you different choices on the next one. But I don't know how far Conrad will go before she has to start coming in. She doesn't have that many rocks left.
This one does look a little hot, though.
Well, so did the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is true. The last one did look a little hot. It's hard to call the weight from the warm room, so they're calling for the sweep.
To be fair, I do a pretty terrible job of calling the weight when I'm walking right by the rock.
That's fair. Calling weight is harder than I think people think. So
you know what's funny? This game is harder than people think.
That's true.
The whole thing.
People ask, "Oh, are you the thrower? Are you the sweeper?" And it's hard to do a little bit of everything.
Yep.
But nice guard by Leslie.
Very nice. So that now a change of gears from this Conrad team, trying to come around this and get buried behind this guard.
They're going to see if they can use that.
I think the concern is the heat, right? Like they're just kind of overthrowing these a little bit to bring it down and throw it to the sweepers.
And that one does look a little hot.
Yep.
And that's going to go right through. But nice line on that.
Beautiful line. Really nice. Mary Fitzgerald, Johanna Humphrey, just excited to be on TV this morning, right?
You know, aren't we all excited to be on TV? Your 15 seconds of fame
On the YouTube.
for all 10 of our viewers this morning.
Oh, I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna have to not let it go to my head.
It's our 15 or 2 hours of fame on our Philadelphia Curling Club YouTube channel here. Let's tune back into sheet 2. Looks like we've got some guards up front. And a nice draw here.
The line's good. I think that, again,
Might
it's
be a little
yep,
heavy.
Yep, it's getting the speed down.
Ends up in the back of the house there. Undercover, but we'll see what Team Martin throws next. It looks like Virginia's going to throw up another guard here.
I don't think she would mind coming in.
Something to block up that line there.
On this line, like, I wouldn't even mind it in the top 4. The more you come in, the less room you give the other team to draw around it.
That's right.
So if she can bury a corner of that and be in front of the tee line, that's pretty good.
It's looking real nice.
It's not curling as much as some of the other ones, and that's probably just because her release is different.
Here it comes, though. It's curling a little bit.
It is. Weight's real nice.
Weight's real nice there.
Yep.
Just at the top of the house. And like you said, cutting down that playing area.
Yep. There is a port, and I think that Kristen is electing to try to come through it. And that port, should you make it, gives you the best opportunity to sit and score. The plus side of this for Kristen, too, is if she nicks one of these guards, that's to her advantage, right? Because it'll make that port wider for the next try. All right.
Needs to curl.
I think the weight looks close, but they are hanging on that outside line.
Virginia's did curl late, so we'll see what this one does.
This one is moving too.
Here it comes. The weight looks real nice.
Boy, it curls like the dickens there at the end. I never thought she was going to clear that. She did. It's in a good spot. It's hard to hit without... well, I mean, I guess you could nose it. It's hard to hit, though, and visually speaking, that center line guard looks like it's more in the way from our vantage point.
Yeah. It is interesting how things look different when you're down on the ice.
Oh, goodness, yes. Goodness, yes. All right. Team Martin clears a guard, spills through the house. But that's okay. They've got hammers, so having
That's
a clean
gonna
front is...
be a biter in the back, yeah.
Lovely, lovely.
And it looks like the call here is going to be a guard.
Yeah,
Virginia, and that's
think
probably the smart move.
100%, because Conrad's shot is the tap up all the way.
She can block that. It's going to make it real difficult for Conrad to come in.
Yep.
Okay, don't touch, don't touch. Well, Johanna, anything, Johanna.
Trying to get a little bit of curl here. But again, these cut over late.
It's
so
coming. I think they're trying to stop the curl. She was calling for Johanna to sweep, which implies that she wanted it straighter. So
well, it's going to end up in a really nice spot.
it does, yes.
It's going to make it pretty challenging to get to that red.
Well,
it's nice and high.
It's so high. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like if they had brought that tighter on that same line, you might be able to run it back and do something with it. But this makes it pretty tough. I think Team Martin on sheet 2 is trying to address these 2 yellow rocks in the house. I don't know if they're trying for the double. They'd have to really get close to that red in the top 12 to do that.
But taking one out helps too.
That line curls hard once it starts to go. Oh, wow.
And they do get both.
Beauty.
Amazing.
Ring
Beautiful
that bell.
shot.
Ring that bell.
Cowbells in the warm room.
Oh, what a shot from Teak. That's a huge help for Team Martin. That was a little shot in the arm they needed right there.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Sit in 3, pretty clear up front. That's a nice spot to be in with Hammer. All right. Nancy Kimmons, rock away. I think they're going after that shot rock.
Calling for the sweep there.
These break late. They can be difficult to call.
Yeah.
They're going to try and roll behind cover here. And they're going to do a
Nice.
pretty good job of it.
Nice shot by Nancy.
Spilling a little bit on the other side, but that's going to be tough to get at.
They've got
Really
that
nice.
red rock back there for backing too. So good placement on the
All right,
roll.
let's see about this effort over here from Conrad.
Oh.
Boy, that one took the scenic route through the house. Ooh.
Good try.
I'm telling you, she's got the power. So close. She's giving me the goofy face. It can be frustrating sometimes when you're throwing that kind of weight because the margin of error is so small.
Whatever you need, guys. You gotta curl, okay? Always curl. Just be on it.
All right, over on sheet 2.
Calling for the curl, trying to get down to it. I think it's a little bit of a wider line than Deb wanted, and I think that
And it looks a little bit
it
heavy
does
too.
indeed. Yeah, that's too bad. I think that line might have been closer to what they wanted if it had been just a little
Oh,
bit
but it
lighter.
sticks around.
It does.
Sticks around in the back.
You find a way to get that yellow one out of there, you're cooking with gas. Unfortunately, that yellow one's in a tough spot.
Guard's okay. But I like this. How much of this can you see?
All right, nice guard.
How much can you see? Guard's okay. I like fighting the 8-footer.
I got it. We have TVs here in the warm room that show the houses, which help us see what's going on. You have to switch them for every end, so working on getting our timing down a little bit.
It's a couple of strong methods. There's a button we can push. We can push the button with a stick, which is a nice lazy effort, or I can do it from my phone, which is even lazier.
But at least the feeds are moving appropriately this morning.
That's right.
We can actually watch them in real time instead of stop action.
Trying to make this rock curl off the boards on sheet 1. They're going to get a, and here it comes. Sometimes when it gets thrown out that far, they don't come back. But where that's actually, for a rock being thrown that close to the boards, that's 2 feet of movement. That's not bad.
It's going to end up as a nice guard up there.
I don't hate it. Certainly usable. All right, so I think that Deb's trying to figure out if they can get to this yellow rock from the outside.
That one cut over a ton on sheet 1.
Yeah, sheet 1's cutting. I think sheet 2 is cutting equally hard. I think that right now Team Martin's just trying to figure out how to open this up a little bit and give themselves a better shot next time. It's a little light, unfortunately.
That's
I'm
probably
not
not
sure.
going to
No,
help them much.
I don't think so.
At least not help them get to that yellow one in the back,
no.
unfortunately. Now it's pretty well undercover.
Yeah, I think so. I think they got to switch gears at this point and go for draws, but I think that Neil has that idea too. So right now it's about who gets to the 4-foot first.
You said it's different every end. Who gets to the 4-foot,
Yep.
and how do you do it?
That's right. All right, a good line. A little bit hot from Team Conrad here. This
But
elusive,
nice line.
Really nice line.
Right
It's
around the guards there.
This elusive draw weight.
You can hear Lori saying pro side light. It's always good to give yourself options.
About tolerance, right? Like, it's not so much even options. You're just going to say, like, this is our goal. If we're light on this line, that's an acceptable plan B. But just letting your shooter know so that the tolerance in their head can be a little on the light side. Boy, I tell you, the hard thing about calling these rocks is when they cut, they go sideways.
That came over a ton.
And you know, you can fix that a little bit by putting a little bit more handle on the rock. But I think as a club, we're not used to this snappy ice yet. And so we haven't figured out this handle business. We're going to have to, all of us, practice a little bit more of a positive release.
Lots of guards in the front of the house on sheet 1.
Sheet 2's no slouch with the guards either. But yellow
Right.
didn't get fully behind it, so they can
There
get
is
down
a
there
shot
and flop
there.
in. Yep, for sure.
It looks pretty open, so.
I think Deb's going to be trying to find the way to a skip's deuce over there.
And here's a nice.
This is just going to get a little redirect.
Just
Oh, boy. Lovely. That little kiss over, that was
beautifully
Thing of
buried
beauty.
behind those guards.
good luck getting to that guy.
But it did widen that port a little bit there, so.
To get there, Red.
Leslie's pointing out that you could run back. You could run back that yellow one straight, or you can run the red-yellow. It's kind of lined up to go onto that one. I'm not sure you keep the yellow if you do that. Of course, it all depends on the angles exactly, but you could try.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's try that right now. I don't really think the angles as well there. This is better.
Got a good crowd here this morning for these games.
I think it's the brunch and the good curling.
Well, who doesn't love brunch? All right, this is draw effort from Mary Fitzgerald. It's looking pretty good. They needed to
looking
sit.
really nice.
They needed to sit down. Oh, just going to be a little hot. But even so, sits in there for
I
shot.
think, yeah, that's shot rock.
For sure. But it's open enough, I think, yeah, Conrad's going to come at it with just a little bit of a heavy draw. Look, here comes a
Right.
rocket from Martin.
Seeing if they can get to that yellow. Shot rock.
Again on that straight line, but they're moving it. It's coming off of that forefoot. They just need to move faster. Oh,
Ooh,
just
just.
take it over. Unfortunately, I think that might have been a worst case scenario for them. Just caught enough of it to move it well behind
Pretty
cover.
nicely buried back
Yep.
there.
So here comes, oh,
Look at that.
Beauty. Oh, what a beautiful shot.
Nice shot.
Got all the way to the nose. Lovely. I mean, the only reason to roll away there is to take away this backing, which McElroy is now going to try to use.
I think the roll down feels better. I don't know where that's on. Yeah, will it curl or come heavy?
Again, versus curl.
I think we go down.
All right, go down to it. Gotta be here.
And that's the call, is just drawing down to it.
I like this call. I mean, it's the one that's hardest for the other team to challenge. And that's kind of your goal, right? Especially when you're up, is just make them throw the hard shots.
Here comes the curl on that.
I played you yesterday, Katie. You made me make the hard shots. You did well.
Thanks.
So here we go. This is a nice one from Leslie. They needed to curl in and sit.
And
It's going to rub off a little bit, which is unfortunate because it was really close. That's another one of those rocks. It's like the difference between the thrown rock being perfect and being not so great is so small. It's a couple of feet, maybe even just 1 foot of pressure and a little bit of line, and that rock is perfect. It was so close.
And Lori leaves a yellow in the top of the house over on sheet 2.
So Deb's
Nice
looking at what they can run in.
guard there, seeing how Team Martin can get to that forefoot.
This one's really moving from Team Conrad. They took a lighter weight shot, I think, to just try to tap back this guy. And
It's
now
gonna run into
now
that
they're going to
guard.
plan B. They're going to try and move this one over. I don't hate this either, right?
No,
now
it
this
opens
is
it up.
wide open, and they're sitting 3 behind cover. So that's not a bad result at all.
Right here. Give it up here, time here. Okay. Bring it on.
I used to curl with a skip in Chicago who, when we were looking at, so Virginia here, the choice is you to come in and try and sit 2, or do you try and put something up longer that's a guard. And she would tell me all the time, pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So it's
Don't
funny.
be greedy here.
I mean, that was the message, but I always thought it was a silly one because pigs get slaughtered all the time. But but it sticks in my head, right? And when I see choices like that, I hear her voice telling me,
That's going to be just at the top of the house, just where she wanted
Yeah,
it.
the only issue for this for Virginia is that she doesn't outcount any of those 3 yellow ones. So if they're able to move back that red, that one in the back 4-foot, they can bring a lot of those red rocks into play. Oh, can Deb get one in here? They're looking for the angle, but I think they got too much curl.
Oh.
I think that's.
That
I think
last
that's hammer.
rock?
Yep. So it's
That's
another steal.
2 for yellow.
It might be 3.
Yeah, it might be 3. It's hard to tell on our angles here if that top red.
I think it's 3.
outcounts.
They're kicking them away, so they know. That's all that matters. Oh no, they're going to knock another one. This was unfortunate. That's too bad. Team Conrad just raising them. Team McElroy rock into the 4-foot. Now McElroy has a chance to put another one around this red guard and really make it tough.
Is the call here then to draw into the 4-foot and sit 3, or to just block that run back?
I mean, you can do either. I kind of like coming in. I like coming in because
After you said hogs get slaughtered.
so fair enough. It's a fair point. But I think that the question is, like, if you're going to put the perfect guard up here, where does it go so that you can't just get around it?
Right.
Right. If you leave the guard and it's up higher, then there's still that draw around.
Right,
If
right.
you're really trying to put the screws to him, you put something that's just biting the top 4-foot. So they're trying for front of the house, right?
Yeah.
Which is not bad. If you
Yep.
corner that red one, then it makes the draw difficult and it takes
And
away
it takes
the straight
away
run
that.
back.
Yep, absolutely.
But if you put a third one in the top and you wrap it around a little bit, it also takes away that run back. So there's a couple of ways to do it. It just has to be with what you're comfortable with.
And that's different for everyone.
It absolutely is. This isn't her last rock either. They've still got things to play with. So, all right, Lori's team on sheet 2 finding some good draw weight. Deb needing to put up some guards to try and score some points. Oh, Virginia's is coming back.
Look at
Nice.
this.
Nice.
That's exactly what she wanted.
Exactly the shot. Well done.
Beautiful freeze right on that top red.
Yeah, that was a good team shot.
Exactly what you just said.
A good team shot. A good call from Leslie. A good sweep. That was excellent. A well-earned fist bump. Because this was looking dangerous for them for a second. All right, so Team Martin getting a little skip assist there from Deb. Get this rock where it needs to be. They've got a good guard. That's something to build on. This is, I think, for Deb's lead, Kiana, this is only her, this is the first time she's thrown rocks this season.
Wow.
Right?
That's incredible.
Isn't that something? So absolutely
Good for her.
crushing it.
And good for the team.
Crushing it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know.
No.
She's had some amazing shots.
No.
Some
I was
really,
talking
really
to
nice
Deb about it
shots.
yesterday, and I was just floored when she told me that, because what an incredible
And here
amount
they
of
are
skill.
in the 4th event finals.
I'm telling you what. And they were one rock away from being in the A event final. You know, like
That was a
it's
really
a great
close game
Yeah,
yesterday.
really good one. All right, here comes Kristen's first. Going to try and do something. They got to unlock these 2 in the front.
Coming in.
The yellow's gone. That's a nice shot. I don't mind that pick away. It forces
No,
Virginia to make another real good one back.
And that leaves them options for their
Yeah,
for their
some
final
people like
rock.
being able to throw the same shot twice, and I guess if you're a good curler, that's a pretty good place to be. It always stresses me out to be able to
It's
throw.
so hard to throw the exact same
Well,
shot
and when
2
you
times
nailed
in a
it,
row.
right? You nailed it.
You nailed the
time.
first
Yep.
one.
Yeah, picture perfect. Can you do it again?
I always say that's the hardest shot, is throwing the exact same shot you just threw.
Oh my gosh! You know what? The one I love. All we got to do is touch paint.
No big deal.
Yeah, sure.
It's always when you either throw it through or leave it high.
So I don't think that another guard here was the call for Deb. She's saying that it might have picked up something, but I don't
Might
hate
run that
where it
red
is.
one back.
Yeah, straight tap back.
See if they can get that.
You know, it's
Look
not
at that sweeping too, right?
Great, yeah,
At
not
the
the
top of
worst
the
at all.
house there, yeah.
And they're in pretty good line too.
Virginia's a little light there
Oh boy!
on her.
Holy cow!
That is
gonna
going to
get
be
it
over.
I tell you what. So it's again a pretty good spot. The other one was well frozen, but this one, because it's so long, takes away that option as well.
But she does have the draw in.
you know, what she's done, and this was important, was to make sure that there wasn't a shot to get both of those yellow ones out
Yep.
the back. She doesn't care if they draw in here for one. She cares if both of those yellow rocks go and they get a mitt full.
And they
So
get, yeah, a lot.
She left the shot with the right tolerance.
Fist bump there. They're happy with that.
They should be. And a good sweep to get it over the hog.
Yeah, good sweep by the sweepers. Like you said, it's forcing Team Conrad to make some difficult shots.
Right, I mean, that's the goal, right? Especially when you're up, right? You make the easy ones and make the other team make the hard ones.
And it's a team effort here. Everybody's getting involved and trying to decide what the best course of action here is.
Sure. All right, got a pretty good center guard there from Susan. Team Martin going to have to address that. They're going to see if they can get rid of two.
Angles are there.
Might be able to even flop over and give yourself another guard there in the corner with this shot. All right, so they're
Calling
trying
for the sweep.
Yeah, trying to get Char to walk this one back. And on this line, it's more likely to take the curl on this line than on some of the other ones. I think they're just going to pick the top one. That's not the end of the world for them, though.
Oh,
okay.
did get the back one,
Well,
but stuck around.
Kind of.
What'd you say
one
it was?
For the other.
Stuffing it or something?
Stuffed it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, thank you. That was my good call. I was trying to. Oh, Conrad is close. It's around the guard.
Oh, look at that.
Whoa. Oh, look at this.
Wow.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Nice
What
shot.
a shot from Kristen Conrad.
That was beautiful.
What a shot. Holy smokes. That's why the skips make the big bucks. They get triple the pay of the rest of the team. Did
Oh,
you know
do
that?
they?
Yeah, they do.
Do they? I'm going to have to
You should
call
check
in
on-
for my paycheck.
That's exactly
yeah.
what you should do. You should ask the rest of the team what they got paid first, though.
Yeah. Triple a zero is still zero.
That's the math, unfortunately.
I'll have to have Janine check my math there later.
I'm sure there's a rubric.
All right, what's happening on sheet 2 here? They're going to try and go for that shot rock there.
Yeah, that's the one to address first, and then if that other one is still hanging around later on in the end, you can try and get to it, but they still have so many rocks to throw.
There's really some powerful sweeping going on.
It's a good sweeping team, and,
Yeah.
and a good jump on that sweep.
Look at
from
that.
Deb. Yeah, she really
Beautiful.
held it.
Yeah, that was really good sweeping there. Just coming in on sheet 1 on their first rock there. See if they can take it out by Team McElroy.
I'm just noticing, as I've noticed so many times, that both sheets have the. Oh well, she just hung the score, so now the sheets are different. But for the first 3 ends, the score has been the same outcome on both sheets. It's funny when that happens. It happens so often. All right, so because that first rock from Conrad came in the house,
And
McElroy
that's
was
gonna
able to clear it.
stick around.
And hang around. A nice little twofer there.
Those rocks on the edge of the sheet are real difficult.
That's how you build an 8-ender right there. Not that you'd ever try, but it's how they happen. All right, so this is a tit for tat from Team Neal. They get a nice roll under the
nice roll
guard there.
behind cover.
So this forces Deb to go up and address the guard.
That is maybe going to come in, leave themselves something up there to play with.
I think it's coming in.
Yep, looks like it's coming in.
So I think Virginia's going to have basically the
Repeat,
same shot.
yep.
I think the call has switched from the run back to the peel over here on sheet 2.
Oh!
All 3 rocks move, everything out from behind cover, and a corner guard.
Great shot.
Spectacular shot on sheet 2. That's the kind of shot you need to be able to build on.
Plus, it's always fun when rocks go flying. So.
there's so many times when you throw a rock and you can get one thing done with the rock. To be able to accomplish 2 or 3 things with one rock is when it's special, right? That's when it's like getting an extra turn. All right, so Team Conrad trying to put another one in here.
This one looks a little hot over on sheet 2. It's actually going to end up real nice.
The only issue there is that it makes it's an easier double
For the
when they're
double,
closer,
yep.
yeah. And Team Conrad leaves theirs a little bit high, but in a good spot.
Definitely usable.
For sure, and right in the center of the sheet. When you don't have hammer, you want to junk it up, so that's in a good spot. So here comes Mary's trying to get this out of here. Oh, I think this one might be floating on her. Just a little bit.
Oh, close.
She scared it.
Looks like they're going to go for that
Gonna try
attempt
for
on the
yeah.
double there.
And you got a couple of choices for how to make it, I think, but looks like it's moving. If the call for Teague to go, then it's going out of hand. They got to sweep real hard. Holy
Wow.
smokes. And again, excellent, because now that shooter's undercover.
And
the
that
yellow
yellow's
rock's
in the
exposed.
open, yep.
Yep. We're getting some encouragement from our helpers here today.
Speaking of our helpers, helper, are you working the bar and want to get me a refill? Thanks. It's a mimosa, thanks. It's Sunday morning. You got to be drinking mimosas on Sunday morning brunch here, guys.
And since we're on the stream and this gets recorded for posterity, this is a teamwork makes the dream work effort that we've got going on this weekend at the Curling Club. So many club members who came out to give us a hand to make this a special event and fun for all these teams who came from away. So we're so grateful for that.
And special shout out to Carolyn, who has done an amazing job planning and executing. It is a team effort, but it wouldn't have been possible without Carolyn's planning.
Thank you. It's interesting to think about it because there's so many different parts of it when I think on what it takes to do this that it wouldn't be possible without doing it, right? This amazing ice crew, Joe Phillips, Rich Hess, all these, Brian Dutt, all the guys who've been around this weekend to help us so much, Steve Cisco with the pebbling, and then all these volunteers who've been here in the kitchen. You know, like each of our team members took a meal, and you have playing in a spiel and supervising at the same time. It's not an easy thing to do.
Really takes a village to put on a bonspiel, and we have
Sure does.
an amazing village here
Oh my
at the
gosh.
Philadelphia Curling Club. Truly
Carter
would
and-
not have been possible without everybody that came out this weekend to help us out.
Carter and Ben making amazing cheesesteaks last night. We've just been very lucky for so much help. All right, so Team Neal puts another one in there, but another set that's possible to double out, right? So the double is there and not, it's
and
available.
it's pretty open.
Conrad's
over there.
trying to get this one to curl. I think they're going to nick their own. Oh, not terrible, because now they're in front of it, and they managed to hang on the side. Oh, no, they just spun
rolled
out.
out.
I
hate
too
it when
soon.
that happens.
I spoke too soon.
Just curl in place.
I know.
That's tough.
It's very, very difficult on our sheets to be out of the house but not on the boards over on the edge there.
Thank you. Fancy mimosa with some blueberries. Let me tell you, it's harder to toss a blueberry into a mimosa glass than you would think.
I've
I
not
tried
tried
it.
that.
I've tried it this morning.
All right, well, I'm glad we're building lots of skills this weekend.
Thank you. Not only curling happening at the Curling Club here, we're working on our throwing skills too.
We want to build well-rounded people, right?
That's right. We practiced throwing snowballs at Santa this weekend.
We did. Santa took a beating.
I don't know how the heck I'm supposed to drink this with the fruit in it, though.
Well, so you said that throwing the blueberries in was the hard part. I do
Getting
agree.
them out might be the harder part.
Well, I guess they just thought you needed some micronutrients there.
Micronutrients. Isn't fruit like one of the
Antioxidants
big
and stuff.
5 food groups or something?
I don't know.
I don't either.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
Same.
but I've heard the word antioxidant.
I'm an animal doctor, not a human doctor.
Fair
I don't
enough.
know why.
Fair enough. I hear the word antioxidants thrown around a lot with blueberries.
I think, but I don't know what the purpose of the strawberries is. I don't think they have any antioxidant power.
Well, I got nothing.
They're tasty though.
They got to be good for you, right?
or something.
It's fruit and stuff.
Or something.
Sure. I think that they're trying to run this red one back here on sheet 1 and just a little bit outside
Gotta
on that
come
line.
back
It's
around.
coming back. I think the unfortunate part is that they're not going to hit square. I think it's going to tick it
It's
over.
just going to nick it, yeah. But it does open that up.
It does, and leaves that one behind a guard. So it's
Yeah.
not, again, good
That's
thing.
not the worst.
So here comes Deb's effort on sheet 2. They're trying to hold this, see if they can touch them both. See if they can touch them both.
Oh, look at that.
Okay.
Got
gonna
one
sit in
out
and
and
sit behind cover.
cover.
Really nice, Deb. Really nice. And that one, while behind guards, I think that the way they curl that way, it's still available. So Lori's going to have to be careful here. Because it looks not
You think
too-
that yellow one is still available?
I do.
Is that what you're saying?
I do. I think that they curl hard enough towards the boards to where if you came with hack weight or back line even, because you don't have to get it out, you just have to move it farther
Yeah,
over.
that's true.
Right?
That's true.
A
And it's like barely out counting that red one in the 12 foot.
It might,
so.
you might not get it out to outcount the one in the top
Sure,
12,
sure.
but the one on the side, you might be able to chip it over and roll in and sit. I think Lori's going to try and split. Oh, no, she's talking about changing it now, so she's going to.
What is the call here?
I think top 8. If it's me and I'm throwing on this line, I want something kind of in the center of the house there.
See if you can maybe outcount that back red one.
Sure, you bet.
Sure.
What you don't want to do is come deep and make it an easy hit for one.
Yep.
But if you put one up there, it could make Deb's second shot tough.
So over on sheet 1, we had a really nice guard by Team McElroy.
I think the effort
But that-
here is just down to this yellow,
Yeah,
right? Just
that-
try and.
That line is still open there.
This is a tough line. They're trying to throw back line at it to move the rock, but it's not going to curl as much.
It's like it's just kind of hanging out. Although here
It's
it
coming.
comes. Here it
It's
comes.
coming. It's coming. Oh, they're close. They're
Oh.
close.
Oh, look at that.
There we go. That brings that front red into play, and they hold on to outcount the yellow on the side. Nice.
And
Nice.
that yellow one's not really behind cover either.
Yeah, no, 100%. That was a great shot.
Beautiful. All right, Lori Neal on sheet 2. I think she might be trying to come down to this back red one.
All right, that rocks away. They're sweeping it. My guess is for line. It looks like it's got weight.
Got a little bit on it,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're going to want to hang around here. It looks a little hot. I don't think they're going to hang around
Just
here.
gonna miss
Beautiful
that red
line.
one.
Beautiful line, just a little bit. So now we're going to figure out what they can do with this yellow rock. The other option I think they have is to come at the red from the outside and see if they can poke it through.
It's a tough line on this sheet, though.
It really is.
To come from the board
It
side.
really is, yeah. But again, take a lot of weight off it and put the broom right on the edge of the rock, and you might be able to get there. But I will say, after the flood that we did a couple of weeks ago, this line does have more curl to it than it used to. I don't think it'll fall to the boards. They're going to see. We're going to find out.
And that's exactly what that looks like that's what they're gonna call.
I mean, so clearly it looks more available than it does to come in and get it from the inside. So.
Yeah, I wonder if that red guard that's up front is coming into play.
Sure. I mean, it's going to come into play either way for this shot. You have to be close to that. Well,
I think,
closer-
yeah, I wonder if coming from the inside brings it more into play.
Agreed. I think that's a correct assessment.
I know just enough to be dangerous. So.
Well, that makes one of us.
You know way more than that. So good high guard by yellow on sheet 1. That does put that back yellow under cover a little bit more.
I don't think
but
she wanted the guard, though. I think the call was
I think
the
she wanted to
draw
come in.
You
Yeah,
bet. Yeah, you
but
bet.
it still helps block up that yellow a little bit.
I think the only problem is that she's not trying to block up the yellow. Red
right.
shot.
Right.
So right now, I think red wants to do this draw in here. I don't think they want to be down to that back yellow because it gives Virginia the opportunity to do that
come
same
hit it.
line. So I'd want to be on this line, top 4. If they can bring it in and sit top 4 on this line, they'll be sitting pretty. But if they're a little light and they just block it and make it hard for Virginia, that's not the worst plan B. Here it comes.
They're
They
definitely
like
around
it.
those guards.
They like it. It's curling. Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. Kristen
Nice
Conrad.
shot.
Kristen Conrad. All right, here comes Debs. They're trying to hold it. They're holding it. Now they're trying to curl it. They must be close. Oh, come on. Okay, not the worst. They still get 2.
Was that last rock?
It was. That's 2.
Oh, yeah,
So
2 for red.
Team Martin on the board. That's the beginning of the comeback there.
That's all it takes is one end.
And again,
To start the comeback.
Yet another rock where the difference between something amazing and something that's just kind of okay is just like such a small differential.
Centimeters.
Yeah, small differential. Oh, you got Canadian there for a second.
I did, but there's a big difference between centimeters and inches, so
Fair enough.
centimeters are way
Fair.
smaller.
No, it's fair enough.
I also, deep down, really wish I was Canadian, and so
Fair.
as often as I can use
Fair.
metrics, I try.
Fair enough.
I mean, you know, curling is very Canadian.
Sure.
Hockey is very Canadian.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Thanks.
I appreciate
Yeah.
the cultural exchange moment. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, for our Canadian viewers.
that's right. You know, we are international here, or else we're trying to imagine we're international here.
Well, we've got Canadians in
I
the
will
club.
say,
so-
I did send the link to some Canadians on Friday.
Perfect.
To watch.
Perfect. Change over the two.
Slacking, Caroline.
Sorry. Oh, they're changing it up there. It's just going to screw me up.
Ooh, that's really nice. Was that last rock? It's going to be tight there. Calling it 1 red, it looks like. Oh, nope, they're going to measure.
They're going to get a measure out. This is my personal pet peeve of putting the broom down. during
And
the
why
measure.
is that?
Putting the broom down is a tripping hazard. Most often what happens is that players walk away from the space. You're moving around in it, you're moving rocks. It's really easy to just casually run into a broom, especially if you're not used to it being there. You can trip and fall, you can kick it into a rock that you're trying to measure.
In theory, though, the broom is not going to move the rocks. In
That-
theory.
So, except that I've seen it happen,
Okay.
right? When
All
you're
right, all
applying
right.
when you're applying the force of an oops onto
Sure,
a broom,
sure.
anything can happen. So, you know, for safety as much as anything else, but I also just think you're going to end up with a cleaner read on the rocks.
Sure. And in theory, it should only be the vices in the house. So
And it is right now,
It is
so.
right now, yeah. All right, we'll
We
let
have
them get a measure here.
2 of the most experienced vices in the field there measuring that rock. Those 2 ladies have measured a rock or 2 in their day.
Yeah.
So we did have a tie yesterday. It's not impossible. On this sheet yesterday, we had a tie, but that doesn't look to be the case now.
All right,
It looks
so
like red.
It does look like 1 red rock. So what do you do if the rocks are exactly the same distance from the button?
Blank end.
No one scores.
It's a blank end.
I have not had that happen to me before.
And it happened yesterday at our club. It's an extraordinarily rare occurrence.
Especially because you're measuring in like fractions.
Oh gosh, it's so incredibly particular how that measurer works. And yeah, if they went over it probably 3-4 times yesterday and just couldn't see the difference, so they called it a blank. I've seen it happen in the Scotties once.
Wow.
All right, so a good steal for Team Conrad. Trying to scratch and claw their way back into this thing. And once
That's
again,
it,
the
start of the
scores on
comeback.
both sheets are tied.
They are. Although we are 1 end ahead on sheet 1.
I'm not
so.
trying to be particular. I'm just noticing the
All
symmetry.
right. Well.
All right, so a little bit too much weight on sheet 2 from Team Neal. So now Deb's going to have an opportunity to put some more junk up there since they've got a nice one there in the top 8 foot. So they'll try and put one behind cover, but if it hangs out and it guards, that's no big deal.
Lots of curling still left. These are 8 end games.
Oh my goodness,
so
yes.
this is really anybody's game. Nice shot to the button there.
Gives Kristen an opportunity, though, since it drifted there to the back of the button, to come in there and sit. This is one of those mixed doubles shots. For those of you who play the mixed doubles game, this is a perfect freeze here, kind of sets you up for success for the entire end. Looks like this is hotter than freeze.
Coming in over on sheet 2. Get a little bit of separation between those 2 red rocks in the house.
Oh, this is a real nice line on sheet 1. What a beaut. Right to the nose of that. You still have some backing. It's a good start. Right, so I think Team McElroy trying to match that draw in. And I tell you what, you play that same line and you take a little bit of weight off it.
Wow, look at that curl.
And it just runs right over there.
Knocking that guard off to the side.
All right, so now Conrad in another position to steal.
And another
She's
hot
gonna-
one through the house on sheet 2 also.
Oof, trying to get that weight down. Stressful in these games when there's big money on the line. You got to feel like you got to get the rock down there, right?
there's big money on these games.
Yeah,
Like
all
you
the
said,
marbles.
000 is still 0.
The stakes couldn't be lower.
We've got some nice GNCC Women's Championship pins
That's
waiting
true.
for the
That's true.
players in these games. They're very interesting colors.
You get the wide range. It's like a rainbow. It's the Skittles of
Right.
event pins.
A nice guard over on sheet 2.
All right, well, they choked up that port by a couple inches here,
Yep.
Conrad, but there's still a port.
There's still a port,
And I think
it looks
Virginia's
like
going to try and come through it. You have to come through it with pretty decent weight to hold the line to get back to that one in the house, but Mary's
that's
got...
a tight port.
It is indeed. It's already moving out of hand. That one took off right away.
But clearing the guard is not
Not the worst.
the worst.
Yep. I do think they might jam, though. Yep. Stuffed it.
Yeah, there you go. We should keep a tally how many times you're able to say that
Yeah.
this morning.
Yep.
Do you win a prize if you get to 10?
No.
Maybe you should.
I'm not into winning prizes this Bonspiel. This was not my Bonspiel for winning prizes.
What does it look like through there, Shar? No, I'm saying, do you think we should guard this, or do you think we should guard here? From where you are.
I will say it's an odd sensation. I've never sat in the warm room before with these headphones on, and it's interesting to be able to hear what's on the ice and what's
And
in the
each
warm
other.
room and each other.
Although I will say, these headphones do a pretty good job of canceling out what's happening in the warm room. Like, they could be talking about us behind us, and I probably wouldn't know.
I assume that they are. Kristen Conrad with
I don't
the
know that
ice
they're
clean.
really
Look
paying
at
that
this.
much attention.
Oh, goodness gracious. What
Wow,
a beautiful line.
Look at that.
What a beautiful line. This Conrad team is starting to dial in this draw weight.
Look
If they-
at
yeah.
that.
If they can maintain that, they'll be right
And
back
right
in this
behind
in a
cover.
second. Yeah, you bet.
That was beautiful.
That kind of draw weight wins games. So here's Deb on sheet 2, just trying to
Like
give
she's
herself
gonna
some cover.
Block it up.
And a little bit of a rub here would be fortuitous. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Those
Yeah,
guards
that
in good
definitely
spots.
helps.
Yep. All right, for the Virginia's going to have to move something off the pin here if she wants to take its place. Coming with a hit for Mary. It's a little tight. So now the plan has changed. They're going to try and run this yellow one back, I think.
Yep.
And they might.
They might do it. It's coming around.
It sure is. Oh, boy.
Look at that.
I tell you what, that was the hard way to do that, but she did it. So now we're going to try and see some of that special draw weight again from Team Conrad.
Yep. right, Lori Neal trying to get rid of some guards, it looks like.
Yeah, I think she's got to give herself a shot at this point.
That'll do something. Move some rocks
Truer
there.
words were never spoken. That'll do something.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Like I said, professional commentator right here.
Yep. So Deb's job is to put it right back. I think she doesn't mind if it counts here since they've got that long yellow guard. I think that's what she's saying exactly. Like they can bring
If
it
you
top
get
12.
it right to the right to be a biter.
Yeah, you bet. All right, the rock's away from Laura.
Looks a little bit heavier than the last one.
It's a spicy meatball. It's curling. They might get a little wicky here. Oh, look at it go. That late curl. The fact that you could get there enough to punch it back.
Wow.
I didn't know you could with that kind of weight. All right. Well, they still got one in there, but unfortunately now it's completely exposed. So now McElroy has more
Leaving
options.
it wide open for Leslie here. I almost got a blueberry there. And then they just kind of all sank to the bottom.
Well, now that they're mimosa logged, those blueberries. Uh-oh. So this one's hanging out a little bit for Leslie.
But
so she's going to get it out of there. Lose the shooter, but
that's
not,
okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
They're still sitting 2.
Yeah, there's still guards up, though, so this is still an opportunity for Conrad.
And there's still lots of rocks left in this end.
All right, so Martin got their rock into the top 8 on the last one. So here comes Team Neal trying to clear some of this out. They got that red one going, but it's still Martin's end here so far. She's got complete control of the 4-foot on sheet 2.
That's the best, when you can be the skip and just put up some guards.
There's no shot I like throwing better as a skip than guards.
Same.
Yep. It means your team's playing well, right?
That's right.
All those folks in front of you threw good shots. All right, so this is another good draw from Team Conrad here. They might be down to this back yellow, but it's a good line. It's a real good line.
Yeah, that's
so
really nice.
even though McElroy could follow it down, it's going to be tough to take it out.
It's going to be tough for them to score more than one if they just keep throwing them down after each other.
You bet. So I think the guard's named the game for Deb over on sheet 2. And if she can throw a good guard here, they could be looking at a big end. Lori's got a few tap backs, and we certainly saw her make a nice one earlier, so she's not out of it by any means.
No, but it'll be hard to score more than one for Lori here.
Yeah, you bet.
Team Conrad sitting real nice with a couple of those.
It's pretty sweet setup. All right. Leslie
following it down.
Yep.
That looks really nice.
It does.
They've really dialed in on this
the
line here.
Yeah.
And the weight, too.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. You got to pair the two together. It slides back to the back of the 4-foot.
But it is going to outcount that red one.
Sure is. No backing. But it gives Team Conrad some place to go. So they're just going to follow that down. All right,
yeah,
so
everybody
Deb,
throwing really nice rocks.
Deb's Deb's put another one in there.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Holy cow. All right.
I'm
I don't
not
know
sure
if
if that outcounts
yeah.
that yellow.
But it's in a good spot.
It is.
Yeah, Lori's just checking that exact thing. But for Lori,
I don't know how much of a difference that makes,
I was going to say, for Lori, the problem here is not the nibbler, but the 3 that are inside of that one.
Yeah.
All right, so Kristen's rock is away. They're letting it curl, letting some of the weight come off it. It's close.
Yeah, they've really figured out this line here.
They got to go. It looked like it was curling, or it looked like it was going, and then it just looked like all the weight came out of it. I agreed with their call not to sweep it, but it just really checked up at the end there.
Wow. Yeah, it looked like it had a little more weight than that.
Yeah, it sure did. I'm not timing rocks from down here. I probably should be to sound more official, but maybe it was light out of hand, but it just checked up on them. Line was beautiful.
Yeah, they have really figured out that draw line.
So now it's up to Virginia to kind of set one out a little bit wider even. I think she's just throwing to top house guard here, something that she might be able to tap back on her next.
Lori talking about her shot over on sheet 2.
Lori's in a pickle here. I'm not real sure what she's going to call. I think she's going to try and move this red one on the outside.
I don't know why I'm checking my watch when there's a clock right in front of me.
You worried about the time?
No, I was just trying to see when is an acceptable time to switch to afternoon beverages.
Oh, I see. This was a morning choice. The mimosa.
No, I think it's going to be at least an early afternoon choice, and then
I mean, it's
we'll
a brunch,
see.
so
right.
I feel like the window is extended.
2 o'clock
yeah.
is probably adequate.
So we got Virginia and Kristen on sheet 1, housekeeping, making sure there's no lint in the way of their rocks. All right, let's see what Lori chose over here. I think they're going to try and move that outside red, and if they can hit it, they might be able to get 2 of them going.
It's probably the right call here. It is.
I think that to get 2 of them going, you might have to lose the shooter, but we'll see. They might be able to get to both.
That.
Boy, it's out
It's
there and
just
it's
floating.
tracking. It's
Yeah.
tracking. Okay.
That just
Solidly
hits
on
that
their own.
yellow guard.
And unfortunately, I think it jumbles things up for them on the other side. So now Deb's just going to be putting another guard back. And Virginia doing the same over here. So we got Guard Town USA happening, both sheets.
But that's how you put ends together, right?
That's right.
You throw up those guards and make it harder for the other team.
I think there is a shot here for Conrad, the way it's curling for sure, to get around here and sit shot.
Just needs a little bit more weight than what she had on that last
On
one.
the plus side, she's practiced. She just threw it. She's just going to add a little bit to it, take a little bit more broom.
All the teams here are playing really well in the
We've
2
seen
final events. It's been such good curling
Good
here
curling
this
all
weekend.
weekend. Yeah, a lot of good teams from all over. All right, so this rock from Conrad is away. Sweepers are trying to judge it.
I hear top 4.
Back
Here,
4.
back 4.
Now it's starting to come down. All right, so now they're bringing it hard now that it's curling.
It looks like it still has plenty.
It does. I think they're trying to push it, but look at this beauty. Kristen
What
Conrad.
a shot.
Yet another shot that's just exactly what it needs to be. She couldn't have walked that down better.
Beautiful. And
All
over on
right.
sheet 2, looks like we're throwing another one.
They're just trying to guard, I think. Trying to protect from Lori's last. It's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, that looks like a nice guard there.
All right, Lori's got choice, but I don't think she's got a great one.
No, not a whole lot of options for Lori here.
She can draw to out count, but it's going to be real tough to out count that one in the forefoot.
Yep. And unfortunately, she doesn't really have a good angle on any sort of run
She's
backs
looking at the
either.
long one. She's looking at that long yellow
That
guard.
long one
Yep.
on the forefoot
Poke
there,
it, poke it
yeah.
through the hole and try and get back to where shot rock is. That, you know,
How much weight do you need on a shot like
you
that?
can throw it with several different kinds of weight. I think if you really want to be serious about keeping the shooter, I think you have to almost play control because you're throwing at an angle and the rocks have to go at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
The problem here is that you're talking about the most minute fractions of an inch between what's the perfect line to run that back and what
what's
is a
straight
complete
through,
disaster.
Yeah. Tough shot.
Tough shot, no doubt. And tough
But that
shot over
does
here
look
for
like a
Virginia,
call.
right?
Yeah.
Virginia trying to find the forefoot
And
here.
that's got a curl.
It does indeed.
Yep, and
Little hot,
Leslie
little wide.
saying that's not
Yeah.
coming around.
So just what an absolutely remarkable shot to steal from Kristen Conrad. Heck of a shot.
like you said, only takes one end.
Boy, I tell you
Start
what.
the comeback.
And these where you steal 1-1-1 is just peck them like a duck. Yeah, it's
Want them to death.
yep. All right, so this will be an interesting shot to watch over here on sheet 2. Trying a long angle raise into the forefoot to try to make contact with shot rock. All right, it's away.
plenty of weight on that.
Looks like it's floating, but I can't quite tell. We're not behind that sheet. Oh, here it
tough
comes.
to see the
Oh, it
angle
cut.
on this.
It really jumped in. What's going to happen?
Oh, just
So,
missed that
that's-
other one.
I believe it's still a 3 for Team Martin.
Could be 4, hard to tell, but I
It's
think
hard-
that yellow's out.
Yeah, I think so
yeah.
too. But what a comeback! All tied up.
Wow,
Yeah.
look at that.
It's pretty good stuff.
Great game on sheet 2,
Sure.
but great game on both sheets.
Yeah.
According to Molly, who plays lead on my team, strawberries have antioxidants and vitamin C, according to Dr. Google. So there's a lot of really good things in both the strawberries and the blueberries, and orange juice, which has vitamin C or something. I don't know.
You heard it here, folks. The new spot to get your health drinks is the bar at the Philadelphia Curling Club.
But only if you ask for the Trish special, which includes blueberries and strawberries, lots of antioxidants.
Here's my actual follow-up question to this situation. Is it because we think the drink is amazing, or is it because we have a lot of leftover food that we just need to get rid of before the weekend's over?
I think there's a little bit of both happening
All
here.
right.
Although I will say, truly the miracle of the weekend is getting rid of 12 pizzas in 2
Oh, you
days.
bet. I was proud of us. I was proud
That
of
was
us.
pretty fantastic.
So listen, everybody won that game, right? That was a team win. Working hard to get this rock over on sheet 2, and they
Good
managed
sweeping,
to do
and that
it.
is
What
in play.
It's a heck of a sweep. And nicely placed, close to center line. And over here on sheet 1, they've got 2 red rocks in pretty good position to start out. Nice guard, nice one in the top 4. So I think we see Virginia trying to draw one into the corner. Give herself an opportunity to have multiples later in the end.
Sweeping hard.
They curl so hard on that line. You know, if it's a straighter line, you get a little bit more oomph out of that shot because that momentum runs on the straighter line and takes it into the house. But when it takes that curly line, it just goes straight sideways.
It's going to be a nice guard, though. Pretty close to the house.
They can use it, yeah, and it doesn't block their draw path. Sometimes I worry
Right.
about putting up those corner guards. If they end up in the wrong spot,
Yeah.
you know, your draw path can get borked for the whole end.
Just a little heavy from yellow over here. Ends
little
up at the
bit,
back of the house.
but it's in there.
It's in.
And just like those that you try to draw the wings, you know, maybe you'll be able to bring that in as a counter later on.
Yep.
All right, so Team Conrad trying to, I think, wrap another one around here. Got to be close. It's moving. It's moving a lot. Got to be real close.
Oh, yeah. Just going
Just
to
kiss it.
flick off that guard.
I think they don't mind that. I don't
No,
think
they've got 2 nice guards up there.
I don't
so-
think that port is rock size, but I think that Virginia is absolutely trying to size it up.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from the angle that
So-
we're at if that's rock size or not.
Here's what I think about this one. I think if you want to, you can throw an absolute laser right at the hole. You kiss both guards, they go to the
Instead of
sides,
shooting.
and your initial shooter will have enough inertia to continue its path towards the house.
Interesting.
I have played that shot exactly one time on this sheet with
Okay.
success.
Okay. We'll
So-
see what happens here. That is
It's close.
pretty close, yeah.
She
does get
caught that
both.
one. But still, a really nice effort from Mary. She moves one out of the way. She actually moves them both
Yeah,
off
she moves
center
them
line.
both, and that is
It's a huge
real
thing.
helpful.
Yep. So now it's on to Conrad to put that perfect guard back. All right, so we got Team Neal trying to wrap one in here.
It's curling really nicely.
It's
But
trying. I think it's a
thinking
little
about
hot.
it. Yep,
yeah.
it is a little hot. It's
These
gonna
lines are
end
pretty
up-
weight sensitive. Yeah. Oh, that
End
one's
up in the
gonna-
back.
Oof.
Oh, just through.
No, it's hanging
Oh,
on.
it's biting. It did.
It'll nibble.
Nibbles are so cute. It's a little bit cuter than saying a biter.
Yeah, sure.
Sounds so like.
I feel like to be a biter, you got to have a good bite. But if you just got a little nibble,
All right, all right. All the nuances of curling that you didn't know you needed to know.
and you know what's fun about that fact? You still don't need to know it.
That's right. Nice guard over on sheet 1.
I'm full of useless information.
Yeah, I'm hearing it. I'm just gonna keep drinking my mimosa, and you can keep spouting useless information at me, and we're good.
That's the kind of quality you can expect from a Philadelphia live stream.
Right. Remember when I said our 2 hours of fame? A rocket at that guard clears it.
Unfortunately for Team McElroy, they've staggered that front guard now, so it's definitely available. If Conrad can wrap one behind here, they'll be sitting pretty.
And lots of high guards over on sheet 2. Team Neal has 2 just kind of hanging on in the back of the 12-foot there.
Yeah, I think Martin's been trying to draw in, and they just haven't been able to quite get it in there, so keep trying.
At first you don't succeed, throw 8 rocks in the same line and see if one sticks. I'm definitely guilty of doing
That shouldn't be the way it goes, but the number of times that's the way it goes is a little ridiculous.
Especially as a 5U curler.
All
Let
right,
me
so
tell
here
ya.
comes Conrad, and they're going to try and wrap this in, and it looks pretty good.
That actually does look very nice.
It's coming in on a good line. The question is the weight.
Does it have enough?
Oh, it's got plenty.
Oh yeah.
The
look
question
at that.
is whether or not it has
whether
too
it's
much.
going to stick around.
Yeah. What an absolutely
Wow.
beautiful line. I love where that's going
Look
to end
at
up.
that.
The only downside to that is that the other team can follow him down. But, Lord, that was a good shot.
The curl on that was
I think
really
Virginia
nice.
is choosing to address these front 2.
A rocket by Leslie here.
I say this all the time. It's going to hit something. And they might get all – they're going to leave their shooter. But that's
But
a
it
lot.
splits the other
Yep,
2.
Yep.
Still helpful.
Improved. And now the one to run back is their color, which is always
That's
good.
right.
Another heavy draw over here on sheet 2.
Just misses that back.
And that's the problem with thinking I've got backing. You give it that little bit of extra weight, it doesn't catch the curl enough, and then you can't
And then
use
you're
the backing that you
through
wanted
and
to.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so rocks away on both sheets. All right, so we got, we're over the hog on sheet 1. They're going to stagger that guard again, which is a really good result.
And a nice draw on sheet 2, just to the
Oh,
top
it's
of
a
the
beauty.
4-foot there.
What a lovely draw.
Undercover.
Who threw that? Susan Liu. Very nicely done. A little overburied even. Because that long yellow guard is right on center line, and they managed to get an inch or 2 off. So,
Yep.
So that's good. That's in a good spot.
Yeah, that's in a really nice spot.
So Deb's going to try and negotiate this port and get this red one run back. It's a gutsy call. Okay. Opening up that middle again is Leslie Dutt with the rocket. Again, leaves their yellow one there for
But
future
again,
runbacks.
Up to them and their color, so.
What this does, though, is I think that it's going to make Conrad take a new line. They're still going to want that staggered setup out front, but they're going to come the other way now. And whenever you force the team to play a new line, that's when they might, falter a little bit just because they haven't played it in a while. So plan B coming from Team Martin.
It's going to knock that one. Oh, maybe through.
Yeah, I think through.
Yep.
Which is okay.
Yep, that's fine. As long as they don't leave the biter, which they don't.
And they've given themselves a clear shot at Shot Rock now.
Yep, that opens it up on sheet 2.
All right, so here's Conrad. I think they want this rock to curl, but it's got to go a mile. It's got to curl an absolute mile. They're walking it over a little. I think they just got onto the weeds a little bit, and it didn't come back as much as they wanted. But what's nice about that rock is that it's perfectly usable. So,
but it leaves that long yellow run back for Virginia here.
she sure is looking at it. I mean, it's an interesting thing because there is a port to come through, and it curls.
Does it curl enough, though?
To get to the nose of the red rock?
You think it does?
The question
the
is
port?
the question is the weight. Could you do it with hack? Yes. Could you move both red rocks away? I'm not sure. But I do think that you could get around it and to the nose of the red rock with hack.
Okay. Looks like she's looking at that yellow run back, though.
She likes it better. And that's the thing about the game that I love, and you can talk about it all the time. There's no one way to play it. Somebody else might call coming through the port. She's going to call the run back. It really just comes down to what do you feel comfortable with? What do you want to do?
And as the skip, it's really important. Like, these are high-pressure shots,
Sure.
so she has to throw what she feels comfortable with.
She's got to like it. Yeah. I think that one of the most important things that you can have when you're a thrower is buy-in. Right? You have to believe that the shot that you're throwing has potential. You have to believe that you're doing the right thing. It helps you throw a better rock. When you doubt the plan, it makes it very hard to execute it appropriately. Deb, so speaking of small ports to negotiate, are they running that yellow back or are they coming through?
I don't know that running that.
They're trying to double? Well, either way, we should see something coming from Char here. All right, just a little. Oh! They get the plan B. Okay, not the worst.
And, that's
okay.
real.
A really nice effort from Virginia. Not quite able to clip the rocks in the house. Going to force Conrad to put up another guard. Yeah, these little corner frozen guards are Conrad's new specialty. There is, in fact, a draw in there, I think, if they negotiate that port, but but you open it up and you're messed up. So they'll probably just choose the guard.
It looks like Lori's going to go for the hit on this red rock here on sheet 2.
It's wide open.
Wide open.
Yeah, wide open. The only thing you have to do here is make sure that you kind of cross the face a touch or get to nose, just so that you make sure you avoid the jam in the back.
But if they don't, you can tell them that they stuffed it again.
Oh,
So,
gosh, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm primed.
Get ready, Carolyn.
I'm primed.
It's a win-win either way, right?
Yeah.
Good shot. Good shot. Or your new catchphrase.
It's not even mine. It's borrowing from.
We can pretend
Oh boy,
it's yours
this is
for
moving.
today.
They're going to get their yellow maybe. That is moving a ton.
Oh!
Oh! An
Straight
unlikely path.
through.
Holy cow. Well, that
But they
makes
do
it
knock
interesting.
that red one out of the 4-foot.
What
so.
it does is leave. Oh, look at this. Negotiating the port.
Wow.
A pretty nice situation there.
That's going to make it really difficult for Virginia here.
Yeah, if there was a port on the other side, I'm not sure it's there anymore. She can run that yellow one back, but boy, what a tough shot. And just as likely to stuff it
Hey.
as anything else. But over here on sheet 2, an opportunity for Deb. This rock is now available.
And pretty open.
Yes, I think she has choices for how she can hit it. I think she could even roll under if she wants to. Under those 2 red corners. I think she can hit it on the inside and make that roll. But her goal after this certainly will be to sit 2 counting.
Yep.
You want to be able to
Get that yellow one out of
those
the
back 2
4-foot
yellows,
there.
I know, are in her mind, right? Like when you're a skip, you're just watching those back 2 yellows that are hanging
That's
on in
right.
the back of the house thinking, yeah, I don't want those coming into play. So she just had to tighten up the broom. And I think that's the plan, is to try and cross the face of that one and get the inside roll under the guards. All right, and here comes the run back attempt from Virginia.
Is this the last rock on sheet 1?
Tis.
It was your turn to get up anyway.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I asked you.
It's always good to remember if my knees work.
After curling all weekend and running the bond spiel, you know.
It's a lot to ask of a knee. All right, here's Virginia away. I think she started that out of hand. That's unfortunate. Oh, it's really going. She's going to catch it. She's going to hit something. Oh, no. I thought for a second they might knock another one in.
They almost did, but
Okay.
it rolls through.
Another steal
That's
for
going to be
Conrad.
steal of 2. And hey, look at that. The score is now the same
There you
on
go.
both sheets again.
Yep.
Not for long.
Oh, and
but
Deb negotiating the guard. Inside hit, in behind
beautiful,
cover.
nice
Beautiful
roll
shot.
on that.
Deb Martin nailing the plan to perfection. And I'm not even sure there's a double there. With the guards there,
That would
I feel pretty
be-
certain there's not.
Yeah, quite a challenging double, I think.
Yep. So a couple of really great comebacks in this game. You know, two teams jumping out
good
early.
curling from all 4 teams.
What I love about that is that, you know, it's real easy in curling when you're down 5, which each of these teams were, to just kind of feel a little bit defeated inside and maybe to stop fighting. And they didn't. What a
and here we
wonderful
are.
thing.
We're tied 5-5 on both sheets.
Just absolutely wonderful. Just sticking in there and doing the right thing. All right, so I think that the goal here for Lori, I think she might just be, I think she's trying to move that red. I think she wants to push it back.
I think she is.
Yep. It's moving.
And that is moving
It is.
hard.
It's moving out of hand. But they're holding it. Oh, goodness. Did they overdo it? Yeah. Oh, no. All right. Well, it's giving Deb a chance to shore that up. She's going to be able to guard up that line.
And I think we're starting to see some stop action on our video screens.
Oh, really?
We might need to, at least on the one on sheet 2.
Oh, yeah. We can
We
fix
might need
that.
to restart that.
But I don't think it shows up on the stream, so our stream viewers should be totally fine.
You know what? Good for them. Does not help us with our commentating
Not
here.
in the least. All right, so they
Got
wreck
a
on the
couple of
guard.
biters here.
Virginia wrecks the guard and pushes them both in, but that's, you know, not the end of the world. It's kind
Still
of a
very
different-
early.
It's interesting because it's kind of a different game now, right? You're starting all over, but
Well, and this is really a winner take all,
This
right?
is it,
This
yeah.
is it. This is the 8th end on sheet 1 here.
no ties.
All you need is one. Yeah, no ties.
No ties. That
No
was
ties.
My instruction for all the teams this weekend was no ties, and we only had one, so they listened
Which
pretty
is pretty
well.
good, yeah.
For our viewers at home, if there are ties, it's a whole extra end. So just to keep things moving, we
Keep your
try
fingers crossed for no ties.
Sure.
Though, unless you blank the end here, we won't see a tie on sheet 1.
I will
Nice
say,
rock
though,
right to the
sheet
top
2 is
of the
currently a little
fork
slow,
there.
so sheet 1 has lapped them time-wise.
Yes,
That's
they have.
never an ideal situation.
Immediately following this, we've got our first and third event finals.
That it's going to be pretty immediate.
It will be pretty immediate.
If you want to see an ice crew work real fast, just stay on the stream after.
That's right.
We're seeing this rock from Johanna kind of curl right out a hand. It's so I think they're switching
It's a
to a
little
plan
bit,
B here.
yep, off of
Try and
the-
take this outside one.
Oh, just through that point.
Just the field goal.
And if you guys loved listening to Carolyn and I so much,
We'll be back.
we'll be back in a few short minutes after these games end for the first and third event
Another
finals.
healthy dose of useless curling facts. This is a little deep from Deb. I think they wanted this one to check up a little more. I think she's going to give Lori something to hit. Still has to make the shot, but Deb's sitting 3, waiting on hammer on sheet 2.
Did you have a useless curling fact there?
Not on that one. My useless curling fact was the biter versus the nibbler.
Oh, okay.
That
you
was
just
a-
you said speaking of useless curling facts, and I was expecting you to follow that up with something.
Oh, okay. So,
But then you started commentating on Deb's shot.
So this is the problem with getting old. I don't remember what I meant to say.
Well,
Was it something good?
I don't know. You're the one that was going to say it.
You know what? I'll give you a call tonight at midnight when I remember what that was.
Please don't. Actually.
All right, so Team Conrad putting up guard. It's
It's a
curling.
nice guard.
But yeah, it is nice guard.
Virginia still sees it though.
Yep. Try and catch a piece of
still
it.
take
They
it
don't mind
out.
clearing the guard. And Lori has a pretty open shot at these in the top 4. So see what happens here. Still got to keep your shooter. It's a pretty light throw there from Lori. And because
And
of
it is
that,
curling
it's
a
taken.
ton.
Well, you take a little weight off it, it goes right.
Yeah. for sure. And I
I don't know.
yeah.
Oh,
Okay, well, it
They
gets
got
the one.
So another steal for Deb, and that Plainfield Charlotte team takes the lead.
What a comeback.
What a comeback! 2 ends to play. Up 1 with hammer in the evens. That's not bad.
It's a good spot to be in.
Yep.
Carolyn, you're doing a great job switching the feeds
No, it's
here.
okay. We got a guy over there doing it, so it's fine.
And I think that they did
They
reset
reset it,
that
yeah.
one for us, so. All right, they're going to put this guard back, it looks like.
They are. I think they don't mind if it comes in. I don't think they would mind tapping their own a little bit. I think the line is what they care the most about.
Yep. Although that looks
it's
like it's over curling, yeah.
They lost that a little bit at the end. So both in, both counting. A pretty
there is a-
makeable double.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what Virginia's going to call here.
All right, so Virginia's thinking she's a little out on that one.
She is just hanging out there.
That's the problem with this line is that you get out and it
They're
just
gonna
stays.
hit their own.
So I think they're on their yellow, just going to replace one with the other almost perfectly.
Oh, it
And,
does roll over a little bit, which is going to maybe take away that double there.
Yeah, it does, I think. Maybe if you hit everything you can see, but it's a much tougher shot than it was a second ago. All right, so we got Kristen focused on the steal here for this final end on sheet 1, putting up some guards.
You know, they're sitting 2 right now, so that's really all they need to do is put up some guards.
Yep.
And stop Virginia from coming in.
Yep. Yeah, and where those corner guards now are on sheet 1 too, it's hard because the draw paths are pretty choked off. This one looks like it might over curl. This guard that.
Yeah, they're sweeping hard out there.
The weight's okay.
But
It's
it is
just
over curling.
Yeah. So that leaves Virginia with that opportunity.
And again, it only takes 1 here.
Yep.
With the game tied,
You score, you win.
Whoever
That's right.
scores wins.
That's right. Maybe those throw blank and we can have an extra end just for funsies.
That would really make you happy, wouldn't it, Carolyn?
No, it would not.
I don't know about you. That's what I've been waiting for all day today is an extra
Blank
end just
for
to
an extra
throw the entire day behind.
So they're going for this double. You're about to see if it's here. They want to try and hit everything of this red rock that they
It
can
is
see.
curling, but it looks pretty good.
I think they're just going to get the one.
Yep, just the one, but that opens it up.
It does, and it puts another one in there. So now yellow's got 2, sitting on the edges.
Yep.
Not that they need to score a big end, but at least it's something.
Yep.
So they're just going to tap this red one up, try and put it a little bit more in the, shrink up that scoring area a little bit, make it hard on Virginia.
We're almost at the point where I can get these stupid blueberries.
This is the edge
This has
of our
been,
seat
yes,
part of this game.
I know.
Are you going to make it through that mimosa?
Everybody's been waiting on the edge of their seat.
How could they not?
I've got 2 ends left on sheet 2, so I'm going to make it through.
It's like Mimosa Watch 2025.
That's right. It's almost as good as the curling.
Almost.
Almost, yeah.
They're just trying to get this over now on sheet 1. They got it. Easy on this. Easy.
And
It's
over
over
curling.
I mean, they're still pounding it, so it's still coming in.
That is
But
going to leave an open shot for Virginia there to try and take out that red shot rock.
Yeah,
And it's pretty open.
it is pretty open. All right, so the rock is away from Leslie. Sweeping for the line.
It's pretty good. Virginia's happy
Yeah,
with
Mary's
it.
doing a great job. Oh, it's close. Ooh!
Oh!
What a sweep from Mary Fitzgerald.
Great
She's taking a
sweeping.
breather after that one. That's when you're just sucking wind. All right, so the question for Kristen here is kind of not what shot do you make, because obviously you got to move that yellow, but what shot do you leave? She try and roll in. She might be able to roll under that red corner a little bit.
It depends where that red rock ends up hitting that yellow one, right?
You bet. I mean, if I'm her, I'm trying to roll under the red.
And I mean, you don't need a lot to push that yellow one out of the way.
You need
get,
enough
like-
momentum to get that roll. It's got to roll for a good 4 feet, 3 feet. Regardless, you need some decent momentum on the rock to be able to get that roll. So let's.
But you
just
don't
see.
need to come to nose, is I guess what I was saying.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think you want to.
No. This looks really nice.
Hit and rolls are hard though because you got to roll, but not too much.
Yep.
Oh, this one's hanging. You might get them both. Might get them both. Might get them both. Oh, sneaky. Sneaky.
But now red is sitting 1.
They're sitting 1, but it's way out there in the weeds. Do you chase it or do you try and take control of 4 foot? And that's the debate.
Conversation that they're having.
That's the debate. Atta girl, you made it to the bottom of the glass.
Well, how do I get this stupid fruit out of here?
With your fingers.
Well.
And done. They've got little cocktail stabbies at the bar. You could get one of those.
Yeah, who's going to bring me a cocktail stabby?
There's a bunch of guys back there that don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they're just looking at us like, who are these people? What are they doing?
What we're looking at is the ice crew waiting to turn over the ice. Yeah.
Maybe Janine will bring me a little stabby. She's not paying attention to me.
I don't know. I don't know who's listening and who's a Simpsons fan, but every time I hear the word stabby, I always think of I don't get mad, I get stabby. A great classic Simpsons quote.
Classic. All right, who do I know that's here? Sharon, will you bring me a toothpick thing? A little bar toothpick?
We're having it's hard to communicate asking for the stabby because people don't know what you're asking for when you just say I need a stabby. Yeah.
It's because nobody is listening to us that's here at the club.
Well, I tell you what, the next time you ask me for a stabby, I'll know exactly.
Thank you. Sharon to the rescue. Thank you very much. Now I don't have to get my fingers all mimosa-y.
I really am glad this is being recorded for posterity. Yeah.
We're doing a great job. We even have a plate that says so.
All right, so we got guards up on sheet 2 and Team Martin trying to come around. I think it looks like it's curling a lot, though, and a little bit light. So, and on sheet 1, this is a draw behind the guards. And
But that is,
it's a good line. It's in a good spot. They managed to
it's still
sit
a little bit open, though.
Yeah, they're up above the tee, but the question here is how to get this one out of there and not. Where do you leave your shooter? That's the question.
All right, Carolyn, if this was you, where would you leave your shooter? What are you going for here?
It's a good question. Just straight back, probably.
Do you think that you could get around enough just to leave it off to the side?
What do you mean?
Like come off to the side of the outside of the 4 foot there?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
If you come in and curl in,
Yep.
can you leave your shooter
Like
to
could
the
you, could
to
you
the right of
across the face of
yeah,
the yellow?
yeah.
I don't know that you can with maybe we're gonna.
I don't know.
Doesn't
I don't
matter
know.
now. Let's see where the red one ends up. Oh, right now I just need her to make contact. It's got to curl a mile. It's got to curl a mile. I'm not sure we're making it.
It's curling though.
It's trying.
It's thinking about it.
It's trying hard.
It's gonna be real.
She's gonna touch it.
Yep.
But I think it's gonna roll too far.
Oh yeah, I think
that's done. I think it's done. But
And now I wonder if you're Virginia, do you come down? Oh no, that's
there we
it.
go. So that's handshakes on sheet 1. A really terrific effort from
Oh, yeah,
Team
that was
Conrad.
it.
What an incredible comeback.
What a great game.
Really great game. Good win by Team McElroy.
Hard-fought win
Now
there.
that they've shook, they're looking again.
Nothing like second guessing your handshakes, right?
You bet. So that's a helpful tip for the people at home. Before you shake, make sure
Make sure that you're sure.
Sure.
But that definitely looked like that was
I-
one yellow there, and with Virginia taking hammer.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it was a big deal, but I think it's funny that they all had to go and look at it after the fact. Really close. Really
What a
close.
great second event final here.
I tell you what, and
Good curling by everyone.
just an incredible comeback. Two teams that had no quit in them. That's what you
That's
want to
right.
see. Yeah,
Being down by 5 doesn't mean anything,
nothing.
especially when you're playing a full 8-end game here.
Oh yeah, sure.
So over on sheet 2, we are in the 7th here.
Trying to
And
get some curl on this draw. It's running pretty good. Looks a little hot. It does move. It's going to get down to that back red. It's just a little too much weight.
but it will outcount that one in the very back.
Yep. So Deb has yet another end here where she's set herself up with a chance to steal. Those guards up front are a wall. You get something
Yeah.
behind that, and they are set for life.
Yeah, you're not getting behind that.
No, you could pay a mortgage on that house. It's solid.
Right here, guys. We need to know. I need to hear. You got room. Lots of room.
All right, so we're still looking for this. They're trying that good draw weight. Dreb's trying to guide him in. And the hard part about this line, I think they've made it around. The hard part about this line is that all the curl comes so late. So you got to match up kind of perfect weight and perfect curl. They're just
Yep.
continuing to build that house. I tell you what, the first rock in the 4-foot here is what scores.
Team pictures on sheet 1. Very cute. Way to go, ladies. Good curling.
All right, so another attempt, because I think the attempt for both teams on sheet 2 is just let's get buried behind this absolute train wreck of a guard situation.
This looks pretty hot, though. We'll see if it slows down as it crosses the hog.
And they're putting brushes to it.
Yep, there they
so
go.
it's not as hot as the first one, that's for sure. In fact, it's not
It
making
might
a
be,
house.
yeah, that is a little surprising there. Thought it had a lot more on it.
Well, you know what's interesting, too? We've seen this in some of our previous games. Sometimes you get into these later ends, and the ice will slow up a bit on you. Either because you hit the slide path and the slide path has been worn down and there's not as much pebble anymore, or you just worn the pebble down by sweeping similar lines.
And especially now that sheet 1 is coming off the ice, we'll probably see sheet 2 slow down a
It'll
little
make
bit.
an impact, right?
Yep.
And it's one of those things that until you've curled and you've seen it happen, you kind of don't believe. But when 8 people's body heat leaves the ice shed, it gets that much colder and the ice just checks up on you a little bit. All right, so I think that what Deb and Teak are looking at right now is the line to get around this crowd and try and come in. Now, Deb's looking at the other side, too, and I was just kind of wondering if they had taken a look at that. I know that the board side of sheet 2 is kind of the spooky
Tough.
side.
Yeah,
right?
it's a little tough to get around on.
So you have to pick your poison here, because the fact of the matter is on sheet 2, this draw that they're looking at now will snap in, and it's a very hard call. It'll curl a ton, but it can be a harder read. On the other side of the sheet, which Shar is directing her over to now, you might get less curl, but it'll be a little bit more predictable, I think, right? This is me kind of like pulling out my
Sure,
own
but do you think
experience.
that there's enough open space there to get, I mean, certainly to the 8-foot, but is there enough space there to get to the 4-foot
I
to
think
come
so.
around?
Yes. Yes. Yes, I think so, without a doubt.
So we'll see what they go for here.
I mean, you're going to have to go around a yellow guard on the edge either way, but I think the likelihood on the side that they're looking at right now of tapping in that yellow rock is higher
I think that's probably true.
than if you took the other the line. But
Yeah, that
again,
yellow guard is pretty high up on the board side of the
yeah,
sheet. So.
as with every other shot, you kind of have to pick the one you're the most comfortable with, the line you feel like you've thrown. And they've been throwing down this line.
Right.
The tendency is to want to stay there because you know the speed of the ice better, that
right,
kind of thing.
right.
But it's also true that the more you talk about something, the more the ice sits. You know, that
Sure.
can cause things to slow down,
Sure.
too.
I mean, but a guard up here, like if she's a little light on this, wouldn't be the end of the world. some conversations happening behind us.
Well,
I don't
I mean,
exactly know what's going on.
The conversation is, because this game on sheet 2 is running a little slow, and I think the conversation with club curling is always like, how do you balance trying to get all 8 ends in? Because we're slower than professional curlers, for
Sure, absolutely. I mean, and that's not a surprise, right?
Totally, it's possible to play an 8-end game in 2 hours, but you know, it's the final of a Bonspiel. We don't like to time those games. We like to give people time to finish their games, but it can mean that you
We
end
run
up with
late.
longer games.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just what happens. It's the nature of the beast. So this is going to bring that yellow guard into play.
We'll see if this curls here, which it is. There it goes.
There it goes. And
But I think that's going to make it around that. Well,
no, I don't.
I don't
no
think so.
longer sure
Yeah.
they're trying. I no longer think they were trying to get it around. So
just throwing something up that they can play with later if they need to.
They certainly can. Yeah, they certainly can. And that yellow there is there for Lori to tap in too.
True. But
Lori's
Lori
taking
looks like
some-
she's going on the other side of the sheet, just like you were talking about.
And we'll see. This will give us an opportunity to see this line and what it really does.
How important is that for Deb to see that line too? Lori's going to throw it first. She could also, you know, come back and follow it down.
Sure. I think that the challenge, you want to learn anytime that you see the other skip through the rock, you want to learn. I think the challenge when you're watching a stick curler is that you have to know that their release is going to be a little bit different from yours, and the rock is likely to track a little bit differently. But if you've been watching her the whole game, hopefully you're able to figure that out, suss out that difference. So the sweepers think it's light. They're going for weight.
Doesn't look, I mean, from down here, it doesn't look
Yeah,
that light, right?
Like,
But
you can't
who
tell at
actually
all.
knows? Yeah.
I'm going to trust the sweepers who are going with the rock there.
Yeah, and look at,
And
you
so
know,
we
good
did
call
see
by the
curl.
sweepers there.
We did see curl, and we did see it light.
Yeah, good
So-
call by the sweepers.
All
Good
right.
line, though. Like, that could have come in.
You know what they've got on sheet 2?
What do they have on
Guards.
sheet 2?
Guards.
Right.
All the guards. If I'm Team Martin here, I definitely want to try to get another counter in there because there's so many guards that if you can sit 2 and steal here, even if you don't have hammer coming home, you're in a pretty good position.
Yeah, it would be real hard to steal 3 or to score 3, I guess.
I mean,
yeah,
you know,
they wouldn't need to steal.
We've
but
had several scores of 3
Yeah,
in this game.
it's true.
It's just that it's harder, right? Like
the more rocks you need to score, the harder it becomes.
100%. So just trying to put another one in here, but you have to tap it up to the 8-foot. I'd be trying to throw T-line kind of weight. Because honestly, even if you move this guard, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
If they draw in for 1, you don't really care. You come home hammer tied, that's a pretty good position.
Sure,
too.
sure. I mean, we saw that on sheet 1, right?
Sure, of course,
So-
yeah. I think a lot of curling teams would be perfectly happy coming home with hammer with the score tied.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's a good. I mean, it's a good spot to be in.
sure. It's out there.
It's got to come back.
They think it's light, though. Well, they must because they're
But
sweeping.
they also need it to curl.
They might just straight draw. Oh, here it comes. But yeah, there's kind of in between shots here. What that will
Although-
do
close.
is make that run back for Lori of that guard.
Sure, on that side, but they do
impossible.
have the one on the other side, which is
Sure.
what they're going to go for.
Yeah, and they should.
And we saw Lori make a similar shot a couple ends ago that
We
was
sure did.
beautiful.
Yeah, really nice one.
So we know she can do it. This shot is definitely there.
Yeah, you bet. Like everything else, it's the right line and the right way.
That's right.
No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Just going to stick this back here. Maybe for the next game, but I'm good for now.
Good. Oh, is somebody watching the chat?
Thank
for
you
us?
guys so much for your feedback on the chat. We appreciate you guys
And I
watching
mean,
this morning.
We're all the way at the end of this game, and I assume that most of what's watching are friends who know what's going on. But please, if you have any questions,
We've got people monitoring the chat here, so
I didn't even know we had that. Our production staff, we're here in the booth.
That's right.
But
we don't really know what's going on. Oh.
Okay. Well,
right through. Was that Lori's last shot there?
It was.
So that's going to be one, at least.
Just
probably one. Yep.
Yep. Just one. So she'll have hammer coming home, but down 2. So a little bit of a taller task.
Like you said, could see a tie here.
Oh gosh, no ties. That's the only rule.
It's the only rule.
I think I wanted to make a Bonspiel rule that if a team ties, they both out of the Bonspiel immediately.
I don't know how much those teams would like that rule, though. Just going to throw that one out there.
I feel like every time I go to Milwaukee every year to curl with my friends from Chicago, and I feel like every single time we go to Milwaukee, we tie like 2 games.
And do they do an extra end in those games?
A whole extra end. I have apologized to the ice crew in Milwaukee so many times. Of course, they have 5 sheets.
They probably are like, "Why do you keep coming back here?"
I'm sure.
Or they've got you marked on the schedule as this is going to run long.
I am quite certain that they would ask why I keep coming back there. That is accurate. But they've got 5 sheets in Milwaukee, so they've got a little bit more wiggle room for what they can
It's a lot
prepare.
more sheets than what we've got here, yeah.
They can get going on the ice prep even when one of the games runs long. It's harder for us to do that at a 2-sheet club.
Yeah, it makes it a little challenging here.
And I don't think we would do that during a final. Sometimes we'll prep a sheet while somebody else is on. But, we like the finals to be able to concentrate, to be able to throw their best rocks, have their best game.
And this is the last end here, so we're not going to be too far behind.
So let me ask you a question, Katie. If you're in this situation and you're the Martin team and you're up 2, you don't have hammer coming home, do you want to put rocks in or do you want to have guards?
I probably don't want to have guards here. I probably don't want to give them anything to hide behind.
Okay.
I'd rather get into a hit game with them.
Yeah.
Even if they score 1, I'd still win that game.
Yeah.
So if we get into a hit game, that's not over.
It's not. I don't disagree with you on that call. And so for Deb, I don't know that was the worst miss. I'm sure they don't want to do the whole throw-through thing. They're trying to set up a steal end. I think that with that call for a center line guard, she wants to stay aggressive.
Right. What would you do in this situation?
I think that a part of it is knowing the team that you're playing with.
Sure.
Right? If you've got a team that you feel like can hit really well, then
sure.
you might keep it clean.
Sure.
If you feel like the draw is your strength, then maybe you do just put up that guard and start dunking them in, I think there's more risk with the draw game, for sure. But if that's your team's strength, there's no reason not to play to it.
Sure. And again, just the nuances of curling, right? The team you're playing with, the lineup that you've got makes all the difference.
There's so many factors, and when you sit in a warm room and you listen to people talking about what shots should be called, I think that they're missing out on some of those on-ice factors that are hard to know. Like I know my team.
Right.
I know people's in-turns and out-turns. I know how to call the rocks for them, and I know what they're likely to be the most successful at throwing. That matters.
And also, Bonspiel's add a layer of complexity to that, especially when you've got teams that don't play together all that often.
100%. Absolutely. There's so much of a difference. When you watch somebody throw at you all the time, you get used to them.
Right.
They get used to you.
And you know what shots they like, what shots that they're going to make.
But when you only curl sporadically, you have to pick that stuff up on the fly, and it really does complicate things.
It does.
When you're watching professional teams play on TV, these are guys who practice together every single week. They know each other inside out, and it makes a difference in their curling. Just a huge difference.
And also, it's a real testament to these skips that are able to play such great games.
Keeping all the factors in mind.
Yep,
that you have
absolutely.
To keep in mind. Yeah.
It's a hard job being a skip.
It is, yeah. Again, that's why you make the big bucks.
000 is
That's
still
right,
0.
Triple zeros, yep. So they might be able to just come down. Well, it's losing the line here, so they're just going to have a straight draw. I don't hate it.
No, me either.
I think Deb is itching for some guards to hide behind here.
Yeah, Lori's got to put together an end here, though, so I worry about putting guards up.
You bet. I mean, keeping it clean, when your goal is keeping it clean, you're playing hits the whole end. All it takes is one miss.
Yep.
Or one half shot for that idea to become a terrible strategy.
Yep.
And that's what I mean in terms of playing to your team's strength. So here's the effort for to
It is
clear this
coming
one.
back.
It's curling a ton.
It is. That is going to come around and
And they're going
get
to touch it.
Yep.
Yeah, I just they're not going to keep their shooter. Well, they are. Lies. That ended up being
Wow.
a really great
Yeah.
shot from Ginger.
Yeah.
Really great
And it
shot.
cleared that back rock in the 12-foot there, leaving
Terrific.
Lori with 2
Yep.
in the house.
Yep. I mean, so now that Lori's next rock is the winning rock, right? So let's
Sure. We got to start getting some rocks out of these of this house,
and I
which
think
is
that's why
what Deb's
Deb,
calling. Yeah,
changing that strategy up.
which is probably the right move here.
But it's also, this is a really interesting kind of a example of how those lead rocks really affect the way that you have to call the end. It's huge. What your options are later on
Absolutely.
are dictated by those first shots.
You could have the best laid plan.
Pet.
Nice hit here.
Good hit. That keeps it
Loses the shooter, but that's okay.
They don't mind that. They don't mind that. Especially since that one was way far out on the edge.
And again, Lori has to put together a pretty big end here, so leaving things around.
Well, she's got one in and she's throwing the second one.
That's
so
right.
That's there to tie. Oh, God, I said the word. I said the T word.
Carolyn.
I said the T word.
Carolyn. Gotta
No
pray to the
ties.
curling gods now.
I know, no ties. We got our next 2 finals here collected in the warm room and ready to go.
They don't want to tie either. They're
Yeah.
they're ready to play.
Yeah, they're ready to play. Need to make sure the Piper's still got his warm pipes going. All right, so another one in the house here for Team Neal.
Although,
It's going to drift back, and it's going to collect these 2 very close.
Oh, yeah.
So, this will be the opportunity for Team Martin to clear this open.
they can
Definitely
clear
get
these
one.
both. That definitely helps.
Oh, I mean, you move them out, you're sitting in a pretty good spot, but you got to get one of them.
Definitely the opportunity for 2 here.
You bet. Even if you drove it straight back and sat in front of them, it's not the end of the world. All right, so Char's.
This has got a curl.
No, they're trying to hold it straight.
Are they?
Yes, they are. They are trying real
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
Char's
Yep,
just pounding it to keep it straight on this line.
Oh, and
well
they do
done.
get both.
Well done.
Beautiful shot there.
And a team shot. Teague threw it nice. They swept it great. It was a good call.
Good
from
call,
Deb.
yep.
Good team shot. So this is the call, right? To come and freeze on this back red. It's a hard call. It's the hardest shot in curling is the freeze.
And also, this one's sitting in the back of the house.
Yeah, even if they freeze on this, they're given an opportunity. Yeah.
Exactly. Calling for the sweep here.
They're seeing movement for sure. It's
Yep.
approaching the center line.
Yep, here it comes.
It's heavy, so they're gonna
It's gonna
tap this
come
back,
to it.
which is fine. You know, I think the reason for the freeze is because it makes it hard to take it out. Now Deb's gonna go after it with that
Yep.
separation.
Absolutely. 4 rocks left for each team.
She's
here.
gonna think about how to go after it, but she's gonna go after it.
And again, it doesn't really matter if she loses her back rock here.
I think she might prefer to.
Keep the house open so that there's nothing, no backing
I
in the
think
back
the only
there.
problem here is that the shot that loses both of them keeps the shooter. You know, ideally you want to lose everything.
Sure.
Because if your rocks are in, it's just more for them to work with.
Right.
But I think if she comes across the face here, she might be able to roll in front of it in a way that's helpful. I mean, we'll see.
Oh,
it's
this is moving.
It's moving hard. It's moving hard.
Yeah, this is
I'm not
probably
sure this
going to
is
miss
it.
everything.
Yeah. All right, so the door's open for Neal to get another one in here. That
All right.
is not the worst result. It takes away that
takes away
backing.
the backing, exactly. All right, so this is Nancy's first. And Lori wants something up top, it looks like.
It's an interesting call to put it there because that gives Team Martin both a chance at a double and a draw in around a guard. So,
Sure.
you know,
You think you would have put it on the other side, maybe?
you know, you're trying to score 2. You want to break up the house a little
Yep.
bit. If you put it, here's what I know. I know if it's a shot that they can try to make a double on reasonably,
They're going
gonna
to try.
Yeah,
As they should.
of course they should.
Although this is maybe not curling that much.
Here it comes.
Here it comes.
They're going to be closer to it, I think, than they want to be. But that's pretty much where she put her broom. That's a good shot.
That is.
Exactly what was asked for. All right, so Deb's definitely coming at the top one, and I think hoping to catch the back one as well.
I think it's there for
Yeah,
both of
you
them.
bet. It's
If she
certainly
hits
there.
it right.
Certainly. Just nose will do it. But this
And
one,
that is moving.
it's moving again.
Yeah. They got to
This
hold it.
one's got a wider
hard.
line. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
It looked tied out of hand.
It
but now
did.
It's going. Yeah.
It did.
Looks pretty good. Oh,
Nice
stuffed it.
shot.
Stuffed it.
There you go.
Yeah,
What
I
is
got-
that? 4?
I don't know, but
4
I
on the
got to say
game.
it. I got to say
Carolyn.
it one more time.
Guess what?
I
You
was
have
so
a
excited.
whole nother game left to say it again. What?
Now I got teams over here sitting on the bench saying they're not going to stuff it so that I don't get to say that in the next
Stuff
game.
it?
I'm taking it personally.
What are you taking personally?
They're going to try not to stuff it so that I can't say it in the next game.
Oh.
They're taking away my
guys.
joy is what they're doing. They're taking away my joy.
It's okay. We'll come up with something else for you to say instead.
Oh, I got catchphrases. I got you.
I've only
They
heard one the whole game.
They may not be good ones, but I'll come up with something.
Excellent. Can't wait. We've got 2 more hours of this.
No, that kind of bullshit plays to my strengths.
This is floating out there.
Yeah, I think they got this one started out of hand. So that's unfortunate flash, and I think it gives Deb an opportunity again to try and get at this.
Get
back
that
one.
yellow one, yeah.
And if she gets this one out of here, then Lori's
It's gonna
going to
make it
have
real
to make
tough.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
she's going to have to get both of those last ones to count. I think that what Deb wants here is to pick this out and roll away. I don't think she wants to sit at all.
And that's probably the right move, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to give them anything to come down
You bet.
to. You don't want to give them anything to sit on.
So goal number 1, obviously, is get the yellow rock out. That has to be the priority. But after that, I think you do want a little roll away just to make it.
I mean, Deb doesn't need the points here.
Oh, absolutely not.
So-
she needs lack of points.
Right.
Yeah,
Lack of points.
that's right. She wants no rocks at all. And she's doing a good job of it so far.
Yeah, it's pretty wide open house
Yeah.
here. And if you're just tuning in, hoping to be watching the 3rd event and 1st event finals, we'll get started with those here in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, my guess is we're going to be piping those guys on around the 130, 140 mark.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate here, so stay tuned.
Maybe we'll start the stream up a little early and get the whole piper going.
We did on the first
Oh,
one.
perfect,
We did for
perfect,
this
perfect.
one too.
Okay.
Carolyn, one
right.
piece of feedback for you
Oh, hang on.
after this
Hang
shot.
on, after this shot. So they're looking for the curl. Whoa. Don't curl it too much. I think they're going to get
I
it.
think they're going to get it.
Atta girl, Deb.
What a shot. And
Lovely.
shooter spills too, which
Yeah.
is exactly what she wanted.
Yeah, it's hard to hide 2 rocks here for Lori. It's real hard.
Yeah, it's going to make it tough.
She's going to take this rock out, which is an interesting choice.
What is the thought behind this shot?
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
You
while
got-
we're
You got to move it to score, I guess, but I think that the only way that you can try to take 2 for moving this rock is to save moving it for your last. I think that if you're going to, if it's me, I think the only real shot here is a nose freeze.
okay. And then just try and come back in and
then
knock it out on the
and
last
then you
one.
hope that they try to come at it and they can't quite get it out and
Yep.
it leaves you something on
Yep,
the second.
yep.
I think if you move this one, if you give it any separation, they're just going to come and kill it.
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, we'll see. They're talking about it,
And they're changing it.
and they are changing it.
There you go. So now the freeze to the
Yep.
top of it is
Do you
the
think they
call.
can hear us out there? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I know they can't. But I think if you're going to try to win, this is the only call to make.
Well, I think there's a tie here, right? So
Oh, don't stop saying it. But I do think
The
that
T
sure.
word.
But I think if you're going to keep this game going,
Right.
the nose freeze is the only shot to call.
Right. And if you're just joining us, if they do end up tying this, it is a full extra end here.
In which case, we will update our time for the start of the next
Probably
draw
to
because
2
it'll be
o'clock.
closer to 2. Yeah. But we're going to try and move things through as quickly as possible. It's always hard when you have away teams. All right, so this looks like it's coming with some heat. It's going to tap it back. The question is how far and what kind of room they have. All right, so a little separation. Unfortunate that it's lateral. So
And
now Deb's got a pretty open hit for the win. Just go get it. Just make it go away.
Yep.
Doesn't need to keep a shooter. Doesn't
Nope,
need to do
doesn't
anything
need to do
fancy.
anything.
Just make it go away.
One doesn't matter here. So we have microphones on the sheets, right in the center here. So, Carolyn, we did have the feed on for the last one, but we would like to hear what you're saying. So if you could stand right underneath the microphones so we can listen to you talking to the finalists
Well,
here.
what's hilarious about that is that I accidentally did my whole speech before I even gave them the toast, the shots to toast. So I'll try and get it right this time.
It's all right. We got 2 chances here.
That's
so
right. That's right. I got a few minutes to think about it in between these games, try and get my act together.
And then you get to sit here with me for another 2 hours.
Looking forward to it. This is the best seat in the house.
It actually is, right?
It is. Yeah, right?
That's why we put reserved signs on our chairs.
That's it. It is the best seat in the house. All right, make it go away, Deb. They've tightened up the ice. So
it is curling though, so
and here in her defense, right? You're throwing the hammer shot. If it's a hit, you're likely to have a little adrenaline going. You're likely to give it a little oomph. And so taking a little bit of a tighter line when you know that you're slightly keyed up is a smart thing to do. Yeah.
And again, it doesn't matter if she somehow comes across and hits her own. Like,
no,
it doesn't matter.
Make the yellow go away is the only goal here. Rocks away. Looks good.
It does. She just has to get a piece of it.
She's got it.
Yep. Looks really nice.
I think she's got it.
Yep, absolutely.
Atta girl, Deb. Really nice games. Congratulations to Team Martin for the win. Congratulations to Team Neal on an excellent bonspiel.
Good curling all around.
Yep, and thank you for tuning in. We will wrap this one up for right now and see you back in probably about
20 minutes?
We're gonna
Jinx.
optimistically say 20 minutes, and then we'll be late in a half an hour. Okay.
And we've got our 3rd and 1st event finals coming up, guys.
All right, thanks for joining us.
Yep. Yeah.